Here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
The immigration problem is a problem, and it does need to be addressed, and it does need to be fixed.
Interesting.
But making those comments, those racist comments, do not help.
And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that,
No.
you know what I mean? Like, but I'm saying
There's more jobs to be
in LA, they always,
But
they don't.
Latinos are not only the only people
I didn't mean
doing
it like that. Come on. No, I would never mean it like that.
Wow.
Yeah! Oh, those words are coming back to haunt the Democrat Party. Wow. What's going on, everybody? Are your bellies full? Are your bellies full? Have you put on some weight? It's all right. You're here to lose it with Reese on the Radio right here on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Post-Thanksgiving edition. It is November the 29th, 2024. Almost at the end of the year. We have already gone through the first day of the holiday season. Christmas just around the corner. It's Black Friday. And I don't really do the Black Friday thing. I just don't. I never have. I don't go out shopping. Not because I don't like the mayhem and all the crowds. I really don't like the crowds. But that's not the reason why I'm not going. It's just that shopping's not my thing. My wife loves that stuff. And I would send her out by herself if she weren't nervous about all the whack jobs out there anyway. So I try not to do it, then I wait until afterwards. Got plenty of time. My wife did a whole bunch of Christmas shopping 3 months ago, to be honest with you. A lot of you have as well. Weirdos, I have to say. But I get it. I get it. Get it out of the way so you don't have to deal with the hustle and bustle on days like this. I understand it. But anyway, before I go any further, I want to say thank you, Roland. I need to applaud him. Thank you for a very entertaining Best of Reese on the Radio yesterday. You picked all of those yourself. And have you been picking them? Did you go over them from time after time? Or did you see after the interviews you said, okay, I'll chop that one up for a best of? Like, how did you determine which would be the best of clips?
I kind of just went with feel or how I felt about the interview. If I which ones I like more than the other ones.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I didn't want to put any like too many callers on and.
Gotcha. You did.
So,
I did hear a couple of early ones, like in the early, like in the 3 o'clock hour. There was a great caller talking about gun control.
Yeah.
And the election. That was a good call. I've totally forgotten about that.
Yeah, that was from an older show, too.
Yeah, it was a much older. Yeah, exactly. It was
like 2023, I believe.
Exactly. It was just after the gubernatorial race.
Yep.
In fact. So I thought that was interesting. It was a lot of old stuff, and for me, it was fun to hear it. I actually turned it on just as it played the MAGA turkey the deli clip, and I turned it on and that aired. I was just like, oh, okay, that sounds funny. But then I had to get to my own reveling. But I was interested in how you pick the clips out. But now I know.
Yeah.
I just want to say
I wanted to it's the reason why they say best of, because you wanted to be the best clips.
Well, thank you. That isn't to say that I don't have other great
No,
clips.
no,
I
yeah.
know you're not. I'm
All
just-
your shows, everything is good, but we're talking about the best of.
I
It's just
appreciate
like,
it.
you know, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, every game is great, but then they have those 50, 60 pointers that makes the highlight reels,
Okay,
you know?
all right, so good enough. Okay, well, I appreciate it. I was actually enjoying a lot of them. It was weird listening to myself in front of my family because they were like, "Are you listening to yourself?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." I don't get ashamed of that, but sometimes other people can take it really weird. It's like, "Look, he's such an egomaniac. He's listening to his own self on the radio." I'm like, "No, I'm just taking notes on how it could be better."
Studying film, that's all.
Studying exactly. Anyway, but thank you for that. You great job on picking those. They were very interesting and very retrospective. Sort of, I could go back and sort of look and was like, oh yeah, I remember we talked about that. So it was good stuff. I want to get into this just because over the weekend, the news media was, of course, going nuts as we get closer to day one of the Trump administration. And while they are looking for things to talk about or become apoplectic about, immigration was one of the things that everyone's concerned about because they are really worried that Tom Homan, the border czar, the newly appointed border czar, who, by the way, does not have to go through confirmation, is going to go out and arrest people who are a part of the resistance. And we're talking about public officials, mayors, if not governors, who may be standing on the front lines, stopping ICE from deporting illegals in their cities and states. And when I listen to these people have an argument with themselves and the news media about this, I always hear them reveal the bigots, classists, and the racists that they are. And I wanted to play that Kelly Osbourne. Ooh, don't want to get Kelly Clarkson in trouble. The Kelly Osbourne clip from The View some 9 years ago. And again, she was on The View as a guest co-host talking about immigration. And in that exchange with Rosie Perez, who's Puerto Rican, and the other ladies of The View, I think the other, Raven Simone from The Cosby Show. She was, and That's So Raven. She was also on the panel. I didn't recognize the other girls. But that exchange went a little like this, if you missed the opening monologue.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm saying that
There's more jobs to be
in LA, they always...
But
they don't...
Latinos are not only the only people
I didn't mean it
doing
like that. Come on. No, I would never mean it like that.
Yeah, she says, I would never mean it like that. Oh, I am probably. They're saying that that would probably be the most racist thing that anyone would say. And in my head, I'm saying to myself, that's racist, huh? Is that really racist? I don't think it's racist at all. I think it's how they really feel. I think it's important that they say what they really think. And somebody said they noticed an echo on my Facebook page, and I don't understand why, but I apologize for that.
I hear it in here.
Hear it here?
Yep.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. That's probably that reason right there. Is that off now? No. Okay. Well, okay. What I'll do is I will get rid of that. Okay. Here we go. And I understand what's exactly happening here. And that's my fault. But anyway, back to my point. The problem that we're having here with this rhetoric coming from the left about immigration is the fact that this is what they think of these people. This is what they think of them. They are beneath us. They are beneath them. Because everywhere you look, even people who are part of their community think this about them. Here is Robert Garcia, Representative Robert Garcia of California, talking about them just this weekend.
We have to remember this Thanksgiving that, like you said, the folks that are out there right now making sure that we have food on the table, not just on Thanksgiving, but all year long. Many of them are undocumented. Many might have a residency, some type of temporary residency which they'd like to make permanent. These are the folks that we're talking about. And it's not just them that are actually making the food. When you're going out to dinner, it's the waiters that are working the restaurant. It's the cooks in the kitchen. It's the hotel workers at our hotels. It's the people in the service industry that are cleaning the restrooms that we use when we go out with our family and friends. And so the idea that we're some kind of a mass deport all of these workers that we depend on, that our families depend on, is absolutely crazy.
So you heard him? Kelly Osbourne said, "Who would clean your toilets, Donald Trump?" Here's Rep. Garcia out of California.
It's the people in the service industry that are cleaning the restrooms that we use when we go out with our family and friends.
So what's the problem? I thought it was racist to say that they clean the toilets. But they seem to be okay with that now. They pick your food. They clean your hotel rooms. They're the cleaners and the dishwashers and the busboys and the bus girls. They're the maids. They seem to be okay with this. Imagine you had said this about any other group. Imagine you had suggested this when talking about black folks. That's always a third rail, isn't it? Right? Because illegals, you're not really talking about Hispanics, you're talking about illegals, or undocumented as they like to call them. But I would like to try this on, let's say, African Americans. Because again, these people clean your toilets, they pick your food, they clean your hotel rooms, they're your maids and busboys. This will affect the economy. Let's try it. Let's go into that third rail. Let's use blacks in this scenario. Let's say I'm Representative Reese on the radio, and I said, if we deport these blacks, who will smoke our marijuana, drink our 40-ounce beers, pay child support to single mothers, fill our jails so that our corrections officers have employment? How about pay our landlords with Section 8 housing? Who will do that? You would immediately go bigot, racist. But remember, Kelly Osbourne, as soon as she said it 9 years ago, no, that's not the only work that they do. But now when they're desperate to keep these people in the country, now they don't seem to shy away from the idea that these people would clean our bathrooms. Who else would do those jobs? Are you trying to suggest that no one was doing those jobs before we had immigration in the country? I'd say that they got rid of people who were doing those jobs because they wanted too much money. I mean, soon, every fast food restaurant will be able to fire any one of their employees and then hire illegals to work at the fast food restaurants, because Americans who demanded $15 an hour can clearly have their job replaced by someone who will only do it for $7, even $8 an hour. I mean, if we're really supposed to look, all right, doing the jobs that Americans just won't do. There's always a strong likelihood that people will just take those jobs if you allow them to come across the border. You allow them to take those jobs that Americans just won't do. Anything is up for grabs. They even went so far to suggest now that who are the people who are going to build our houses? I would say people who want to work in construction. For a fair wage, yes. I know a lot of people who would love to work in construction. Regular American citizens who would love to. And if there were illegals here, I mean, are we saying that we would rather have our homes built by people who don't have to have the credentials to build our homes? There's no paper trail. There's no, I mean, do these guys, are they engineers? Or how good are these guys at math? Wait a minute. The houses that they're building on, how do we know that they're up to code, that the person providing the service to produce the home is actually doing the job up to snuff, that they're following regulations. Who's holding that to account? I find it all very, very interesting. All right, I'll fix the audio in a minute. I apologize. Is you still getting echo over there, Roland? I don't even understand why that is. I didn't touch anything, and my voice is echoing. And I can't seem to figure out how it is, but maybe. Yeah, do you think so? Unless it changed. That's not changing it either? Okay, that's better. Okay, all right. Then it was, all right, good. All right, I fixed it, folks. Everybody, we're back to normal. Okay. My apologies. Yeah, now everybody says it's okay. But that's the bottom line that I'm trying to get to here. That's the only bottom line I'm trying to get to here, is whether or not we're supposed to keep these people here so they can do menial jobs, whether or not they can clean our toilets, whether or not they can clean our hotel rooms, whether or not they can, wash our clothes, whatever it might be. That's all I want to know. Stop playing around. Let's just be honest. I'd love to ask everybody in the state, William Tong, Justin Elliker, Chris Murphy, Ned Lamont. These are the ones who were pushing back on the resistance. I was on the New Haven Register recently, and I saw this young lady talking about how she's going to college. She's only lived here for 4 years. She's going to college. And she wants to take her college degree and use it so she can help others like her. I would love to have a conversation with this young lady to ask her one simple question. That college degree doesn't mean anything. What are you going to do with it? You can't get hired anywhere with it. No one can hire you because you're an illegal. You're going to college. Who's paying for your college? Who's footing the bill for your college? Does the college understand that they're getting money for something that, in essence, doesn't exist? I find that to be fraudulent. And by the way, Yale, Columbia, Harvard, UConn, if you're giving degrees to these illegals, because that's another important factor in this. Oh, they're going to be going to college, Reese. Yeah, to get what? An education that means nothing? A sheepskin that can't be used for anything? That's fraud. That sounds like Trump University, I might add. Oh, did I go there? Yes, I did. What good is it? All of it sounds like a big giant joke. Because we understand, this is the one thing that we know for certain. At the end of the day, here's what we know. These indentured servants, because that's what they are, because they're doing all of the field work that no one else wants, are here to do nothing more than to be undocumented Democrats because of their concern that they are losing average Americans to this mission. And they're never going to give up on it. They will continue to flood the zone with illegals, and then locally they will give them the opportunity to continue to elect these people who let them in, and then work their ways into giving them the opportunity to vote in national elections so they can rule in perpetuity. And trying to grab people at these heartstrings and say to them, well, who will clean your toilets? And who will wash your food and your hotel rooms? We understand exactly what they're doing and what they believe in. And if anybody doubts that, tell me. Tell me how you doubt it. Tell me what would be the other reason. What would be the obvious reason they need to be here? We all know that there's trafficking going on. We all know that there's slavery happening in a lot of these areas. You know, Justin Elliker was here on the show talking about how he wants to make sure that illegals in his city can contact the police in the event that they are a crime is perpetrated against them. But yet, there are no records that these illegals who have sanctuary are even reporting the slave trade that they are a part of due to smugglers who brought them into the state, brought them into the city. They want them to be able to report on domestic violence, but they're not reporting on the $30,000 extortion, the threat of having deportation called on them. That's another thing that's crazy. Right here in the state, folks, we already know about 2 people who are facing federal charges for 18 victims who they were holding, and they were using their immigration status against them to get them to pay $30,000 through unpaid labor. Justin Elliker is telling us that they're making it safe for those people to report crimes. These 18 people didn't report. It took a task force to find this out. Those 18 people had to be saved from bondage. Not one of them reported the crime. So it isn't working because it's all a lie. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, and your phone calls. When we return, it's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
MasterCard is here to help fuel that journey in a fast-paced digital world. With innovative tools and resources, we're here to guide businesses every step of the way digitally. Because when small business wins, everyone wins. Let's power up our communities one small business and one step at a time. Keeping the community running strong, priceless.
For the past 3 seasons of Gone South, we've covered one story per season. Now, Gone South is back for a 4th season. But this time, we're doing things a little differently. In Gone South Season 4, we'll be bringing you news stories every week with no end in sight. Listen to and follow Gone South, an Odyssey original podcast, on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
And now, a WTIC news update.
44 degrees at 3:30. I'm John Silva. The former mayor of Hartford has died. Thurman Milner served 3 terms from 1981 to 87. He was 91. Milner was the first popularly elected black mayor in New England. Members of the state's congressional delegation targeted fake bomb threats on Thanksgiving Day.
Who is going to be cleaning your toilet?
45 representatives and one of the U.S. senators say there was no evidence of any explosive. Retailers in the U.S. and some other countries have spent weeks pushing early holiday deals for this Black Friday shopping, as Connecticut Better Business Bureau reminds shoppers to evaluate all deals and return policies UConn Dr. Aaron Sardell at UConn Health reminds people they don't need to feel pressured to buy. A couple of holiday fires to report. One in Bridgeport on Hallett Street. No injuries reported there. Thompson Road in Thompson. There was a serious house fire on Thanksgiving Day that destroyed the structure, but there no injuries as well. Authorities say at least 100 people, most of them women, went missing after a boat transporting them to a food market capsized in northern Nigeria. And state police say they have made 14 DUI arrests to this point in their holiday enforcement detail. 17 total crashes with injury, but no fatalities thus far. WTIC News time is 3:31. Bob Cox has the forecast.
For the afternoon, we'll see a mixture of sunshine and clouds. Temperatures about 40 to 45. A bit of a northwest breeze making it feel more like the 30s. There's also an outside chance for passing rain or snow shower in a couple of towns by late today into this evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy to clear tonight, lows in the 20s. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds over the weekend with highs in the low 40s Saturday, upper 30s Sunday, and it stays fair on Monday and Tuesday, but cold with highs near 40 both days. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Wall Street, the Dow gained 188 points in abbreviated trading today. The NASDAQ up 157 and the S&P gained 33 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Don Cusson here. Fall is a great time to get behind the wheel and head out for some seasonal driving. With leaves on the road and rain or snow falling, driving can be hazardous. Is your car ready? Cusson Auto features Cooper and Continental tires, helping to ensure a comfortable and safe driving experience no matter the season. Let Cusson Auto handle your next oil change, knowing our team will inspect your vehicle for all your service needs. After all, we'll do it right or not at all. Call 860-289-2389 or visit CussonAutomotive.com.
Cusson Automotive.
I'm at Big Y, and my son calls to tell me tomorrow's the holiday cookie swap. Then I see the baker putting out these fresh cookies, and she says,
2 dozen of these. Wrap them individually. Done.
Nice.
Here's to happy holidays and tasty traditions. Big Y, nicely done.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
If fashion is your thing, eBay is it. eBay's where I find all my favorites, from handbags to iconic streetwear, all authenticated. For real. This time, a little Supreme, some Gucci. I even have that vintage Prada on my watch list. That's why eBay's my go-to for all my go-tos. Yeah, eBay. The place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay. Things people love.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your time. Al, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
And I misspoke when I said that I didn't touch anything on this damn computer. I did. Pushed one button, screwed it up entirely. I should have known better. Welcome back to Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Little Rosa Parks there from the Outcast. Oh, yeah, I like that. By the way, real quick before I go to the phone call, do you know that song sparked the biggest unknown feud in the world, Roland? It was a huge black-on-black feud, that one record by Outkast, between the group Outkast and civil rights pioneer Rosa Parks.
Oh, yeah, because, I knew she had a problem with it.
Yeah, now she had a problem with it. You can go look this up if you're no, we're not going to do Grievance Friday today, Fritz, because, the holiday and all. But I'll tell you the quick summary of it is they did that song, Rosa Parks, which could have been called anything in the world, but, of course, the chorus says everybody moved to the back of the bus. Mm-hmm. And she thought that was offensive, and so she sued them. And in this long lawsuit, I think it got settled out of court or something along those lines. But you would think that would have been the end of it, but it wasn't. Quietly, Outkast released Speaker Box The Love Below album. Remember that?
Yep.
It was their last great album. It won all of these Grammys. And there was a song by Andre 3000 and Big Boy. It was really Andre 3000's song, but it was a song called Roses.
Yeah.
And at that song, for those of you who know that, Caroline,
Mm-hmm.
that song, if you listen to the end of the song on Roses, the guys are talking about Rose, and listen to the words that they're saying in the background. Now, you can't play it on air because there's a lot of words that are said in there, but if you listen to the end of the song, all the way to the end of the song, you hear the names that they are calling Rosa Parks at the end of this song, and it is quite scandalous. And that was the whole song. I know you like to think you're Don't Stink, but lean a little closer, and roses really smell like ooh, hoo, hoo. Yeah, they're talking about Rosa Parks. That was their response to her lawsuit to them. And you don't get it until you hear it at the end when you know that they're definitely talking about her. So, did you know that, by the way?
No, I knew this. I loved the song, but I didn't know it was.
That was their response.
It was like
to
a
the
clapback.
That was their little clapback. Yes, absolutely. Anyway, so for those of you who are just joining us, the thing about what Democrats are doing, and my opening monologue kind of went off because I wanted to talk a little bit about how the Democrats aren't getting it. The truth be told, I don't care. I don't want them to get it. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I want them to be completely out of touch, and I want their ideas to go in the street, sweet by and by. I want the American people to reject leftism, Marxism, communism, all of it. All the isms, I want them to reject that. Racism, too. I want them to reject it. But Democrats can't get out of their own way. Why? Because these things are important to them. They are hamstrung to these ideas. They don't want to let them go. Because they can't win in the arena of ideas. So it is about shaming everyone. The new tactic that they're doing now, which is my favorite, is now they're saying that Donald Trump does not have a mandate. And the reason why Donald Trump doesn't have a mandate is because more and more votes are coming in. And the lead that Donald Trump had in the popular vote is shrinking. Doesn't matter that Donald Trump has a popular vote. It just means that the number is shrinking. Now, we're beyond 3 weeks from the election, and California is still counting ballots, all of them. And they are showing that Kamala Harris's deficit is diminishing. So I looked this up, and I did this last night just to be certain that I got it right. So try this on for size. The current number as it stands, or at least as it stood yesterday, was Kamala Harris had 74,441,000 votes. And Donald Trump had 76,916,000 votes. The difference between the two of them in California is quite telling. Because as of yesterday, Donald Trump got 6 million votes out of California, and Kamala Harris got 9.2. If you were to remove the California totals, the difference between the two of them is quite staggering. Donald Trump would have 70 million, Kamala Harris would have 65. In fact, to be accurate, Donald Trump would have 70.8 million, Kamala would have 65.1. So he would have beat her by over 5 million votes if you remove the very significant state of California. Begin again, we're looking at just under or just over 2 million votes when you count California. And as I said last week, and you listen to this show religiously, a lot of you do, you know I said that they would continue to count those California votes and then say that Donald Trump didn't have a mandate by just using one state's votes. Didn't matter what he did anywhere else. That would be their argument. But then again, I said, keep making the argument. I want Democrats to keep making the argument because this will only cause them to push that same narrative that America does want illegals in the country, that transgender issues are an important fabric of the Democrat Party, that pushing mutilation on teenagers, that there is no mandate against that. Keep pushing it. I'm sure that California will be the state that keeps that agenda alive, that they will not read the writing on the wall with the rest of America, that they will not look at that map of the regions that voted for Donald Trump versus voting for Kamala Harris and not see the sea of red. Have at it, folks. I want you to keep pushing the narratives. I don't want you to even listen to Chris Murphy or to Bernie Sanders. I don't want you to listen to any of those people who are telling you that you need to start talking to the people or start traveling around the country understanding who they are. Please don't. Keep pushing. I need you to do that. It's important. Let's get to the phone. Steve's in Waterbury. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, Reese?
All right, sir. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
Happy belated Thanksgiving to you, my friend. Listen, before I get into why I called, first of all, statistically, being in back of the bus is supposed to be the safest place to be.
I did hear that.
Yeah. Just saying. Now,
the irony of that is insane, by the way.
Yeah. Now, the big controversy between music when I was growing up was the difference between disco and rock and roll.
Oh, yeah, baby. That's a great rivalry, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I think Michael Jackson did a lot to bridge that gap with Eddie Van Halen, and he brought in the older people with Vincent Price and
True,
you know,
very true point.
Paul McCartney.
I hadn't even thought of that. That's such a great point.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was very smart between him and his producer there. I can't even think of his name off the top of my head.
Quincy Jones. But you know what's interesting?
Quincy Jones, yep.
You know, Eddie Van Halen didn't even take credit on that record. We had to find years later that he had actually played that solo.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he never took credit for it.
I thought it was on the album.
No, on a reprint. On a much later reprint. See. Yeah, but originally he did not even take credit. In fact, he had done it. He had done it without the members of Van Halen ever knowing.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome. I'm glad we brought this up.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, the reason I'm calling is, you know, you get so many people that, especially now, they're probably going to claim PTSD or whatever it is because Trump ended up losing. So now they're not going to want to work. They're claiming anxiety.
Right.
They're going to be on the dole. And if they made it tougher for the people that really need it, you know, the injury or whatever, you'd have more people that'd be willing to take jobs that they're not willing to do now. We also got migrant workers coming over for, like, you know, farm work and stuff like that, and they're coming over legally. We got visas for other people for certain professions, and we could bring in people from other countries, but we could do it legally.
That's right.
And if you don't like, you know, I don't believe in a minimum wage. If you're not happy with what you get, find yourself, get some training.
You know what's interesting, Steve? As you're talking about finding people to work, so when my stepdaughter Ayla went to a yeshiva summer camp in Pennsylvania, we went out to go visit them. In fact, this was back in 2004. We went to go visit them. We drove from Hartford all the way to Pennsylvania in fact, just one straight shot through 84, right across.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Pennsylvania to her camp. And when we got there, I noticed that every one of the kids, the camp counselors, had an Irish accent, which I thought immediately struck me. I went, why does everybody have an Irish accent here? And my daughter told me that all of the camp counselors were here and had summer visas to work at the yeshiva summer camp.
Huh.
All of them. And I went, you mean these kids come every year to be camp counselors from Ireland? And she said yes. And a lot of the kids were familiar with these kids because they go back every year, and these camp counselors come back every year. So again, I'm sitting up here going, and you just saying what you just said, is that we do have a legal process of people to come and work here. Young people even come to work in the States and then go home after the summer vacation. They work here for months. Yep. So it's not like there isn't an apparatus for them to do that.
Right. One more point I'd like to make. You know how, like, they push for, like, free college or whatever, like the Democrats do? We can reduce the cost of education if they put everything on electronic media. And if you didn't get in school because maybe you were daydreaming, you got distracted, whatever, maybe your parents, you know, didn't pay much attention in school, maybe they dropped out or whatever, and it wasn't a big deal to them. Well, anybody can watch electronic media and learn. Learn is a step-by-step process.
Sure.
I learned this from a janitor when I was growing up. I always thought he was black, but he was dark-skinned, and I think he might have been
like Cuban,
dark-skinned, Hispanic or whatever. But I used to help him out and another janitor, both named John. Me and my neighbor used to help him sweep, and they'd give us like a milk. But it was more or less we were kind of cool hanging out with him. But this one guy, John, he always remembered me. I ran into him at a community college. Now, John became a street alcoholic, homeless for a while. He went back to school, eventually went out and got, he passed the bar exam like age 60.
Holy moly.
So, but he always remembered me. I keep running him to different places. I used to DJ at an AA club, and he was one of the members and stuff. And he was always like a relative of mine, even though we, you know, just know each other from school. But he was always there, and I kind of learned that, you know, learning is a step-by-step process.
Steve, I got to interrupt you, unfortunately, because I do have a hard break. But you know what? Good point. Listen to me. You bringing up that thing with my stepdaughter at school. That's a very valid point. It's not like these people can't get an opportunity, no matter where they're from, to get to work in and eventually, through that visa program, eventually get permanent status.
Maybe she'll end up in Irish Brogue.
Yeah, exactly. Indeed. Thank you, buddy. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, and, of course, your phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the Radio, post-Thanksgiving edition on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Looking for the best way to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Is everything okay? I need to get my home's heating system checked out, but I'm not sure who to call.
I called the Bee, and service from start to finish was easy. The techs were professional and respectful of my time and my home. From first contact to final installation, the whole team was helpful. Plus, they currently have a heating tune-up offer for only $109.95. Visit callthebee.com. That's calltheletter.B.com.
Terms and conditions apply. See website for full details.
The Legacy Box Black Friday event starts now. Radio listeners can enjoy reliving their meaningful memories for an insane 65% off.
Box is the best gift for you or a family member. And during our Black Friday event, there's never been a better time to preserve your past. Legacy Box start at only $27, with savings of over $400 when you digitize your whole collection.
Legacy Box is simple and safe. We digitize everything by hand here in the USA. You'll get your originals back, plus digital copies that protect your tapes, film reels, and photos from floods, mold, even the decay of time.
Make the holidays special and shop our best deal of the year. Visit legacybox.com to shop our Black Friday event and take an unreal 65% off. With limited quantities ready to ship, this deal will go fast.
The Legacy Box Black Friday event starts now. Buy your Legacy Box today and send in when you're ready. That's legacybox.com/value to take 65% off. LegacyBox.com/value.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Oh, I'm already bracing myself for this phone call. White Mike is in Florida. How you doing, White Mike? Don't cost me my job. The whole time I was reading this piece about, I swear to you, about this whole monologue, I thought of you when I said, imagine if we had said to black people, who's going to drink our 40-ounce beers? I went, White Mike's going to call me after he hears me say that.
Well, I mean, if we're going to remove emotion from the discussion and just go logically, right. Well, yeah, if we deported all the black people, the prison population plummets, and you have to have a lot fewer cops on payroll. Yeah.
See what I'm talking about? I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to do it. You couldn't help yourself.
But come on, man. I'm the mayor of Keeping It Real Town.
Hey, listen, I know. Listen to me. That's the whole point that I'm making about this. Because people say that that's controversial. But, dude, telling people that who's going to clean your toilets, and like no one batted an eye on MSNBC? Not one person.
So one of your, I think earlier in the broadcast, you talked about how leftism or liberalism is being rejected. You know, they're having a hard time selling it.
Yes.
And in our lives, we have a lot of purchases that we have to make. They're mandatory purchases. Like you have to buy groceries, you have to buy clothes of some sort. You probably have to have transportation, things like that.
Sure.
But there are also luxury purchases.
Right.
Luxury purchases are eating out, of course, but the ultimate luxury purchase is entertainment.
Sure.
You know, nobody has to go see a movie. Nobody has to buy a video game. Nobody has to buy a concert ticket. and nobody really has to watch television,
right?
Especially not broadcast TV.
Sure.
And liberalism has been test marketed in these industries and been found severely wanting in the last 7 years.
Okay.
Or 8 years. The entertainment industry really went crazy when Trump was elected. Trump broke them.
Yeah.
So they decided to target, and I think it was malicious. The organized left decided to target forms of entertainment that were primarily consumed by people who would logically be conservative, if not Trump voters.
Okay.
Video games,
right?
Genre films,
Making
television
them the bad
programs.
guy or the antagonist, so to speak.
Well, no. I mean, is they have injected their social engineering nonsense into these forms of entertainment specifically.
Okay.
We all suffered through the Star Wars sequels.
Right. Oh, yeah.
That were abysmal. We were all here when we saw the Marvel Cinematic Universe take its sharp turn into being the MCU and race swapping and putting homosexuals in the Eternals and bringing in every possible non-white male hero they could, even though the market clearly didn't want it.
Right.
But they did it anyway. And they've been rejected. Marvel, under Disney's Marvel imprint, other than Deadpool versus Wolverine, has been on a multi-billion-dollar losing streak since after Endgame. Disney, the Disney filmed entertainment is in a worse position now than it was in the 1970s when they made their little journey up into live-action films.
Hold on for me, Mike, real quick, because I want to dive a little deeper into this one at the top of the hour. Is Mark Christopher's back, right? He's in the BPS Traffic Center. He's not off today, is he? Mark, you here? No? How about Ian Stark?
Oh, no, we don't have a fill-in.
Oh, we don't? Well, who's in the traffic center? All right, well, we'll go to traffic.
Friday.
Oh, it's Friday. I don't know. I don't
Matt
even
is
know
off.
who it is.
Brian is off.
We don't know who's...
No.
Nope.
Live coverage. No traffic reports. Thanksgiving Day.
All
but
right.
that's not for today, though. So I don't know.
All right, I don't know. All right, well, nonetheless, we'll take a break. We'll come back with White Mike, because I want to dig in, because he's right about that whole thing with Marvel Universe and entertainment. So we'll talk about that a little bit when we return. Stick around. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Make your holiday season merry and bright at Magic of Lights, featuring millions of holiday lights. Pratt & Whitney Stadium at Rentschler Field, now through January 4th. Tickets available at magicoflights.com.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, a passing shower or two with mostly cloudy skies, the high 49. Partly cloudy, cold tonight, the low 27. Now Saturday, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and cooler. It's going to feel cold with that high of 40 and those gusty west-southwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Now on Sunday, a mix of clouds and sun. It will be cold with the high of 38. Partly sunny Monday, the high 39. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
The tradition of the WTIC holiday stores to benefit the Salvation Army continues. This marks our 35th year, and we can't wait to see you. Our holiday stores open Friday, December 6th. For all the store info, go to WTIC.com/holiday. As always, we couldn't do this without you and our partners and sponsors, the Home Builders and Remodelers Association and Mitsubishi Power Aero. Please help us help families right here in Connecticut have a brighter holiday.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's 4 o'clock. Hartford temperature 44 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Word this afternoon of the death of former Hartford Mayor Thurman Milner. The Connecticut NAACP posted on its Facebook page that Milner passed today at the age of 91. He served as mayor of Hartford from 1981 to 87, the first popularly elected black person of a mayor elected mayor of a major New England city. In addition to mayor, Milner served in the state legislature, also as president of the Hartford Greater Hartford chapter of the NAACP. There's no word yet on former mayor's funeral arrangements. Also word this afternoon, the death of a longtime Middletown state lawmaker. Former state representative Joseph Serra was 79. He was the son of Sicilian immigrants, served 28 years in the legislature. Lieutenant Governor Bysowitz, also from Middletown, served many years in the House with Serra. She says Serra was in tune with what was going on in the city always and usually held court at the Ford News Diner located on Main Street in Middletown. Much of the nation in the grips of a holiday cold snap. Here's CBS's Heather Bosch.
200 million Americans are facing freezing temperatures from the Midwest to the East. Weather Channel meteorologist Kelly Cass on where it could be the most intense.
From Michigan all the way into upstate New York, portions of Ohio.
And meteorologist Craig Allen says some areas will see significant snow.
In New York State, some of the worst affected counties could pick up 3 to 4 feet of snow.
Heather Bosch, CBS News.
And millions of Americans are doing in-person shopping on this Black Friday, even though online shopping has changed dynamics. Reporter Kendall Buell is in Boston.
Online shopping has dramatically changed the volume of Black Friday deal hunters, says longtime mall general manager Scott DeCoste. However,
what hasn't changed is the tradition, meeting up with family members.
These sisters-in-law have made it their tradition.
For the last 12 years together, making her come out with me because she doesn't want to.
And this mother says she's been bringing her daughter since back in the days of huge Black Friday crowds, but these days, not for the shopping.
I shop online, but I feel like it's a tradition, so you have to keep coming.
Kendall Buell for CBS News, Boston.
Emotions can run high during this time of year as we enter into the holiday season. Yukon Health Dr. Aaron Sardell says that during this time, people can often feel pressured to spend or spend to impress, or they focus more on the material items.
Striving for an experience that they may or may not get, and your idea of just slowing things down. What are people really needing? What are people really feeling? And to use this holiday time as a special time to be connecting with people and also to connecting with what's really important to yourself.
And also be on the lookout for warning signs of Alzheimer's while gathering with loved ones during this season. The spokeswoman for the Connecticut Alzheimer's Association, Kristen Cusato, says if you notice someone having memory troubles, such as struggling to remember a daily routine or a common recipe, you may want to get them to a doctor.
You could be like, I need to go to the doctor to talk about my memory. Do you want to come with me? There are ways you can kind of get them to the doctor. It's hard. It's hard to realize that someone that you love could be changing in that way, could potentially have this brain disease, but it's also hard for the person. And realize that the person who may be having these problems is not giving you a hard time. They're having a hard time.
Wall Street, the Dow finished up 188 points today. The NASDAQ was up 157, and the S&P gained 33 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
The law firm of Scott understands that divorce can be intimidating, and the decisions you make today will impact your life forever. Divorce is complicated. There's a lot at stake when considering your future. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of family attorneys have over 100 years of combined experience and understand every family law case is different. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer, you get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS. or visit bpslawyers.com. Katie Bissonette is responsible for the content of this ad.
As the year changes to 2025, your year-end benefits expire, changing to a new year set of benefits. So now's your opportunity to finish getting your money's worth with your benefits. If you haven't completed all your teeth cleanings, now is the time for that last cleaning of the year. Get the most from your benefits at Columbia Dental, where you can count on one day, same day, 7 days a week, quality dental care. Because your dental help shouldn't have to wait till Monday morning. Visit ColumbiaDental.com.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's get right back to talking to White Mike about the, you were talking about entertainment and how that switched. And in essence, you talk about the $1 billion rejection in Marvel's MCU, as you put it. I love when you first started calling it that, MCU, when they immediately went so far left that people rejected, almost 10 movies in a row?
Well, and it doesn't even have to actively push leftist politics. I mean, the closest that the MCU got to that was the abomination that was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Right. Which I was so disappointed in that.
The most ludicrous part of that entire show for me, and I'm going to spoil a 5-year-old TV show. Hang on, is when Sam goes. Now, Sam Wilson, one of the most famous human beings on the planet at this point, arguably, right?
Yes.
He saved the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Goes down to Louisiana, where his poor sister is dealing with their family's failing shrimp and boat business.
Right.
So they go to the bank, and Sam applies for a small business loan, and they tell him, "Nah, son, no loan for you."
Yeah. Because he's got no collateral.
He's got no collateral at all. He can't call Pepper Potts and get this taken care of, right? But so that was rejected by the viewer base. Disney keeps their numbers pretty close to the bone,
right.
But there are ways to find out. And every Disney Plus show has failed. They've all failed. Every single one except the first season of Loki, and that's because Disney Plus is where they go to kind of test market their race swapping and gender swapping and all this weird crap, and nobody wants it, right? Now, the video games, and people kind of forget that video games have been infiltrated by these blue-haired weirdos, and they're putting this stuff into video games. And just this year, 2024, 2 studios put out 2 games, one called Dustborn and one called, I forget the other one, but they were both based around multiracial, body-positive, multi-gender identity team play with fatties and twinks, and it was rejected to the point that these games have been erased from existence.
Really?
They were primarily online games. Their installed user base was at one point like 1,000 people, and nobody was playing it, so they just refunded money and deleted the game.
And just deleted the game. But you know what? I'm glad that it's being rejected in the way that it is, because we've seen in a lot of organizations, just announced over the weekend, just over the holiday, Walmart is saying it's getting rid of its DEI programs. So it's having an effect.
Well, see, and that should clue people in that what these belief systems are not a positive thing, because every time Robbie Starbuck has exposed a corporation for adhering to these dictates, the corporation scurries away like roaches when you turn the light on.
That they do.
And they immediately deny they want to do it anymore. They wash their hands of it. They go overboard. Like, they're not even going to have draft beer at gay pride parades from Budweiser anymore.
Really?
All right, let's go to
okay. All right, well, we got
weather.
a traffic break. Okay. All right, we got to go to another break. Is it a traffic break?
Weather.
Oh, we're going to weather break. Okay, let's go to weather break. Thank you, Mike. Always right on point, man, with all this stuff. Thank you so much for holding on for me. Okay, let's get to the weather with Jason Catarinas. We'll be right back after this.
WTIC weather.
It'll be mostly cloudy this evening with a rain or snow shower in spots, then turning out.
At least he's there.
27, partly cloudy to sunny.
I guess Mark took the night off and didn't tell nobody.
Yeah, I guess
He's
so.
going to feel cold with that west-southwest wind cranking along. Mix of clouds and sun for us on Sunday. A cold day, the high of 38. Partly sunny, cold Monday, the high of 39. On Tuesday, mostly sunny, the high will be up to 40. Then Wednesday, mostly cloudy, a snow shower possible in the afternoon, a high of 39. It's 41 in Bristol right now, 43 in Mansfield, and it's 43 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Wrap up your holiday shopping with Jewelry Television. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles and gifts for women and men. Shop on TV or online. Plus, new JTV customers save up to $50 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080. Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey everybody, Scott Haney. It's finally fall. Here at Connecticut Lighting Centers, that means big savings. Check out their Quoizel Fall Sale brochure for incredible savings and an unbelievable selection of items.
Now, if nothing catches your eye in the brochure, take advantage of their 15% off coupon, valid on almost everything else throughout their stores and online.
Come experience the savings here in Hartford or in Southington, or shop 24/7 at ctlighting.com featuring Quizell.
The Legacy Box Black Friday event starts now. Radio listeners can enjoy reliving their meaningful memories for an insane 65% off.
Legacy Box is the best gift for you or a family member. And during our Black Friday event, there's never been a better time to preserve your past. Legacy Box start at only $27, with savings of over $400 when you digitize your whole collection.
Legacy Box is simple and safe. We digitize everything by hand here in the USA. You'll get your originals back, plus digital copies that protect your tapes, film reels, and photos from floods, mold, even the decay of time.
Make the holidays special and shop our best deal of the year. Visit legacybox.com to shop our Black Friday event and take an unreal 65% off. With limited quantities ready to ship, this deal will go fast.
The Legacy Box Black Friday event starts Legacy Box today and send in when you're ready. That's legacybox.com/value to take 65% off. LegacyBox.com/value.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
And don't forget, folks, every weekday is the stupidest thing that I've read today. You got to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com to read it for yourself, because you wouldn't take my word for it. That's REESE on the radio.com to read the stupidest thing I read today. This one's a good one. In Ontario, there was a town that didn't have a flagpole. They didn't have like a town flagpole. So they were fined. This town was fined for not flying the pride flag. Right? So they don't have a flagpole. And because they didn't have a flagpole in the town, they could not fly a flag. So for not having a gay pride flagpole or flag up on their non-existent flagpole, they got fined, and everyone who's an official in this Ontario area was forced to take re-education training. Oh, yeah. Stories out of Breitbart, but you can go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com to read it. That's ReeseOnTheRadio.com for the stupidest thing I read today. Again, I said, please, folks, Democrats, come at it. I don't think you've thrown enough kitchen sinks at us. Please, go nuts. You don't think it was a referendum? It's okay. Keep coming. Let's go to Dave in Brantford. How we doing, sir?
Yeah, Reese, on that first hour topic of the continuous ballot counting in California, I saw an interesting article. I think it was New York Post, but I read so many papers I can't recall.
You and me both.
The gap between President Trump and Harris is basically 51% to 47%.
Right.
So it's not a question of who won. But the plurality, Trump is getting near. It's about 50.04% of the cast ballots for Trump. And as you noted, the left is trying to deny him the word mandate for his election. And now they're trying to deny him the word majority.
Yes.
Because if by recounting those ballots, they can get the total for Trump below 50, he can't even claim he got the majority.
Right.
And they'll use that all 4 years to say most of America didn't vote for him. And really, the people who would contest it have no standing in the court, because the margins between the contestants are big enough that it makes no difference. But they're still wasting time and money to count those ballots just to have the trophy of saying Trump is denied the majority. And they're doing it in the several places in the country where there's a lot of you don't have to legally have those votes brought into the ballot place to be counted.
Right.
They don't need the date on the envelope or the canceled stamp. I don't know if that's true, but it sounded pretty true to me. And if you'll let me say something I heard on NPR yesterday.
Sure, why not?
Talk about sour cherries. There was an indigenous person from South America who's opening a front. This is about 10 o'clock. She stated, it's been 532 years since the invasion of the continent by Columbus. I'm from Colombia, so it's particularly poignant to reflect. Can you imagine what a sour apple on a holiday like Thanksgiving? And that's the way that this person viewed it. And NPR, and she had a whole segment the invasion of the continent by Colombia.
Let me go back to your original point here, regardless of that one. But you're 100% about the mandate. Language means everything to the left. That's why they need to commandeer it, right? He who controls the conversation controls the agenda. So by saying he doesn't have a mandate, right, they can continue to push this leftist agenda that says, see, we weren't rejected. But this says to me something broader, Dave, and that is that they are so, again, hamstrung to their ideas because they have no new ones, right? And that's the left in a nutshell. They have to ask themselves, and I've said it on this program, you've heard me say it, Kamala Harris came into this campaign sounding more and more like Donald Trump. When he said no taxes on tips, she said no taxes on tips. Donald Trump said he had to close the border. All of a sudden, she was saying that she had to close the border. And I asked Republicans, what do you say? Oh, don't forget, they glommed on to the Cheneys as well. Wow, in order to win the election, they have to sound more and more like Republicans. Well, what happened? More and more of their base, younger people, we found out afterwards that she was going to go on Joe Rogan, but 23-year-old staffers rejected it and told her not to. They are in control of not just the party, but they were in control of Kamala Harris's campaign moves. So they're not going to let go of the hold that the left and the progressive left has on the party. So forget about what Chris Murphy was telling us 2 weeks ago. Forget about what Bernie Sanders has continued to echo since the election. They're never leaving their core. They have to stay with it.
Well, I think their point is he might have won the election, but he didn't win their hearts and minds. Well, and that's the point they're trying to advance now.
I think that Donald Trump still has a mandate, and I think, again, look, they've got a couple of months now, or just under 2 months, to continue this mantra of saying or trying to push back on Donald Trump, saying that, no, we're not abandoning the leftist stuff. We're going to keep going at it. And they're only going to grow conservative or MAGA coalitions in the midst of it if they don't recognize it now.
Reese, I'm all done. I'm going to turn on my Christmas lights tomorrow. I hope. I remember you a year ago. You didn't like the outside lights, and your wife forced you to go to the store and buy. I think it was a light-up wreath to hang in the window.
Yeah, I did lights on our banister, and she's got me doing it again.
Keep her happy. Thanks for letting me on, sir.
You
Bye.
got it, Dave. Lori is in Glastonbury. How are we doing, Lori?
Hey, Reese, I was so surprised to hear that you were on today. I was not expecting that.
Nah, I don't do the whole, I don't like the days off thing. I had to yesterday, but I wouldn't have on any other circumstance. If they didn't make me take it off, I'd have been here yesterday.
Well, you know what? Actually, that makes sense. At work, you do love to work. I hope you and your lovely wife had a wonderful Thanksgiving with the family. And I'm listening to this whole conversation about California. Could someone please, I realize that there's no possible way to make sense of this because you can't make sense of something that is entirely illogical, obviously underhanded, and is so obviously, a shell game or watching a shell game in action, and it's not even a good one. He's not even trying to hide the ball. No. It's just it's right there. I don't understand though how he. And again,
when you say he, are you talking about Trump?
I'm asking for the impossible. But how in the world does he possibly think that anybody trusts anything that he says or does at this point in time when there are third world countries that will count their votes in one day? And here's California, like on the struggle bus, counting all the votes still. How in the world does he think that anybody can take him seriously at all from this point moving forward? Not that we did before, but now there's like 5 exclamation points at the end of it.
Well, remember they got us already. They pretty much ginned everybody up when they suggested that Pennsylvania may not have its numbers for a good 16 days, right? So it was already sort of in the ether. And California is making this argument that says there were so many people, there's so many people to count, so many counties to count, that this is going to take a while. And remember, any pushback, they've already set that table as well. Any pushback on the electoral process in any state questioning the veracity of the election, right, is election denialism. So setting that table means that nobody can question anything. We have to sit by. Now, thankfully, the election is over. Kamala Harris already got those electoral college votes, and now the short game. And again, there's always a long game with Democrats, I should say. The short game's over. They didn't win, but now the long game. And now they know that they can use California as that means to keep pushing this idea that, see, the numbers don't justify the mandate. By pushing it down, by saying that now they have a reasonable or legitimate resistance to his election, by saying, see, people didn't reject it, thinking that no one's going to notice that all of that swing, if you were, in the numbers is by one state alone. And I said this before, and I said it again, Lori, that argument is going to blow up in their face. Because remember what
I hope it does.
Let me tell you why. The reason why it blows up in their face, Lori, is because remember they have been pushing so much on getting rid of the electoral college and getting the popular vote anyway. By making this process in California go so long, people are going to recognize the only thing that pushed Kamala over the top on the popular vote was the California. So now people can make the argument that, hey, California swung the election in the popular vote category. Is that how you want the election to swing in the future? That you now will wait 16 days before the popular vote is judges who becomes president of the United States. Now the election is in California's hands. That's why it's going to blow up in their face.
Well, and I think the funny part about that, too, I just find it comical that, like, oh, there's so many people, and yet here's Texas saying, we got it done. And I just feel like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's California. It's California, and there are no rules, and there are no rules to keep them from doing it. But again, like I said, people are going to look at it afterwards, and they're going to say, you guys took 20, 25, 30 days to shrink Donald Trump's popular vote victory by one state. If you guys had it your way, what we've been saying about the importance of the Electoral College reigns true. California will dictate our elections.
So, quick question. So, do you think that California could potentially swing red next governor election?
Not if Democrats.
Because
not if Democrats have any power. I don't think so.
Okay, because I feel like if not the governorship, then at least their legislature would likely swing red. Because people are just, and when you looked at the districts, it was, California was far more red than it was blue. But hopefully a lot of those blue people are leaving the country. Because, like, okay, you're taking your vote with you? Great.
Well, let me tell you why that's. Let me tell you, Lori, why that's a possibility. There's a weird thing with the state going red as far as like a gubernatorial race, only because of one reason. In order for that to happen, they're going to have to swing a lot of Latino voters in California to the right in order for that to happen. Remember, in this election so far, at least the numbers from Wednesday actually, there's a 3 million vote separation between Kamala and Donald Trump, right, for president. So that's a considerable amount. I mean, we only had 175,000 here in the state of Connecticut. 3 million it almost seems insurmountable. So you've got to really, really target Latinos. You don't have to worry about the African-American vote. That's only, do you know the population of California in the African-American community is 2.5 million out of 40 million?
Wow.
Okay? So clearly you've got to really go after the Latino vote because they outnumber, I think they're just above whites in the state. So you've really got to go after the Latino vote. But I think you're right as far as legislatively in the state, if Republicans can go after those Latino districts, much like that blue wall in the southern parts of Texas that was along the Mexico border, we're talking about some of those towns and municipalities in the southern border, those were places that were blue since the 1800s.
Right. Well, I remember when Maya Flores won.
Exactly.
That was really, really big. So I'm interested to see how, there's so much crazy in the California law system now with we're going to take away your children, and you can't buy a gas car, and rules for me and not for thee, and or reverse that. But I would be if they don't go red, then you know what? You get what you get, and you don't get upset because you did this to yourself.
I'll make a prediction, Lori. In order for California to go red, it would have to lose 2 more electoral college votes. It already lost 1. Because for the first time in 20 years, the population of California went below 40 million. It's now at about 39, 38 million.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It used to be 55 electoral college votes. Now it's 54. If they lose 2 more, the state's going red.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because consider how many people have to leave. We're talking about over 750,000 people who left the state in order for it to be at the rate that it's at now. If it loses another 3/4 each year in the next 2 cycles of election, we're talking 8 years, the state can go red. And I believe it will.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You got it, Lori. My pleasure. Good talking to you. I don't even get to talk to Lori all that often. Anyway, more news, more views when we come back. I got to talk about some other stuff that was in the news over the weekend that I found at least somewhat interesting because, on the weekend it's not a lot of news and people are going here, there, and everywhere. But we'll talk about that when we get back. I don't want to, to tease it just yet. But when we come back, we'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about what did Reese on the Radio do for Thanksgiving that I've never done in my life. And I'll admit, I feel really guilty about it. And I say really, really guilty about it. And you'll learn about that in a little bit. And we'll also ask Roland exactly what's it called? Filet or filet? What is that called? Filet? Is that what that is? That some food that you make? Filet? Yeah. After we get back, I'll ask, I'll explain to Roland while I feel a little offended by this food and whatever is, and find out exactly what's in it. It's supposed to be gumbo. And I think they cooked it. Did you cook it in a wok? Did you cook it in a wok? That picture looks
big pot.
It's in a pot? It looks like a wok. That's what it looks like. I'll show you guys the picture when we get back. It's an interesting one. All right. Let's go to Jason Katerina and get some weather for you. It seems like he's in there. Can Jason hear me when I talk?
No.
Okay. Well, Jason, if you can hear me, I just...
He's not. This is a recording.
Oh, it is? Goodness gracious.
He's live. You should know when he's live and when he's recording.
Oh, you mean when he's actually saying something about the show? That's what he's on. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. More news and views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, a passing shower or 2 with mostly cloudy skies, the high 49. Partly cloudy, cold tonight, the low 27. Now Saturday, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and cooler. It's going to feel cold with that high of 40 and those gusty west-southwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Now on Sunday, a mix of clouds and sun. It will be cold with a high of 38. Partly sunny Monday, the high 39. I'm meteorologist Jason Katerina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut from breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. 2 well-known politicians in Connecticut have died. Former Hartford Mayor Thurman Milner was the first black mayor of a major New England city when he was first elected in 1981. He served 3 terms until 1987, was also a state legislator, and served as president of the Greater Hartford NAACP chapter. Thurman Milner was 91. In addition, former longtime Middletown State Representative Joseph Serra has died. He was 79, served 28 years in the State House. State Police continuing their stepped-up holiday enforcement operation so far. Since Wednesday, troopers have answered over 2,600 calls for service. There have been 244 crashes on state roads, 17 with injury, but no fatalities, 14 DUI arrests as well. State Police also investigating an early morning crash in Westbrook. Troopers were called to Horse Hill Road where a car slammed into a home. One person sustained non-life-threatening injuries. President-elect Trump creating a National Energy Council. He says it will establish U.S. energy dominance around the world and will be key to the pledge to sell more oil to allies. And retailers in the U.S. and some other countries have spent weeks pushing early holiday deals. They're trying to seduce customers off promises of bigger discounts on Black Friday. National Retail Federation says 85 million Americans will actually enter a mall this Black Friday, with online shopping having become more popular over the years. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 188 points today. The NASDAQ gained 157, and the S&P was up 33. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Take a moment and think of one thing you really wanted to do recently, but you didn't because your foot, leg, or back pain got in the way. Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet Store. Well, you're not alone. We hear it all the time. Folks are fed up with living with pain that's keeping them from doing what they love, and they look to us at the Good Feet Store for a solution. And that's why we're here, to help get you back out there. Good Feet Arch Supports, which you can only get at the Good Feet Store, are designed to alleviate and even eliminate foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Plus, they provide improved balance, more comfort, and, well, just a better life. We'd like to help you turn your pain into possibilities with a free fitting at the Good Feet Store. You'll be personally fit by an arch support specialist, and you'll get to walk around and see how Good Feet Arch Supports feel. Then you can decide if they're right for you. For over 30 years, the Good Feet Store has been helping people get back to doing the things they love without their feet getting in the way. Stop in today at the Good Feet Store in Avon, across from Whole Foods, or visit goodfeet.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit psychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
First time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all of fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, I didn't think it was appropriate to do a whole, airing of grievance Friday today, because then I would just hear people talking about their horrible experience at Thanksgiving, and I don't want to ruin the holiday for people. If you had a good Thanksgiving, or if you had a bad one, maybe we'll do something on it next week or something like that. But I actually did something I'm not exactly proud of, and when I say I'm not proud of it, it was such a Thanksgiving mood or a giving move that I'm somewhat embarrassed having done it. So I was asked to carve the ham. That was great. My father-in-law was there, and he was carving the turkey, and we were across from one another, and they were taking pictures of us doing it, like being sort of like the men of the house, and it was a weird thing. But anyway, it was nice because my father-in-law is a great guy. I love Zohar, and it's nice to be around. He's such a pleasant guy. And so when talking to him and hanging out with him, I did something that I shouldn't have done. The hostess comes by and says, "Hey, Reese, do you want any dessert?" And I never eat dessert. I never do. And it just seemed, I shouldn't. Right? I had turkey. I had gravy, which, by the way, was great. Whoever made that gravy was fantastic. You know, I had ham, I had gravy, I had turkey, I had stuffing, I had cranberry sauce, I had everything. I had the whole kit and caboodle. And then she said, would you like dessert? Again, never do I have dessert. And I said, what do you have? Well, it turns out the only dessert that was appealing was the dessert that I bought. And it was the pecan pie. It's pecan pie. And I didn't want to eat the pecan pie. I bought it so they could eat it. I would never eat pecan pie. I never would. Never would. So she cut me a slice, and she cut me a considerable slice. And I knew it was too much. And I should have said, that's too big. Can you give me a smaller one? No. I ate the whole damn thing. I ate it all. I ate it, and then afterwards, I felt like a glutton. I felt awful about myself. I felt fat, overweight, sloppy. And then the hostess took a picture of me. She did. She took a picture of me sitting on the couch watching the Dallas Giants game, and I saw the picture. She sent it to my wife, and I looked at it, and I thought, holy crap. After the peacock, I look like, you think I actually was allergic to something. I blew up. I looked like a big fat person. I looked awful. I will never show this photo, by the way. Never, ever show this photo. I looked like a behemoth. And I never would. I would never, ever eat dessert anywhere because after having such a big meal, eating the dessert it's too much. You don't need to. If anything, I should have had a peppermint. Maybe even a mint, a lifesaver or something. Never eat the pie. You need Awaken 180. You might be right. You might be right. So I feel awful. I never should have eaten it. I feel horrible about it. But I do have one question. Can you really tell the difference between pumpkin and sweet potato pie? Can you really tell? You can? I cannot. I don't know what to do. Is it? Well, why would you make pumpkin pie if it wasn't sweet? It is sweet, isn't it? Really, like, I can't tell the difference. If you were to give me a blind taste test, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't. So I didn't have the sweet. I didn't have the what do you call it, the pumpkin pie, because I thought I don't want anybody to ever say Reese ate pumpkin pie. I just don't. It's like Reese eating watermelon. I won't have it. I won't have it. Watermelon. We got to take a break. All right, we'll be back. Let's get some more weather from Jason Katerina, and we'll be back. More news, more views when we return. And plus, I'll show you the gumbo photo on ReeseOnTheRadio.com. We'll be right back.
Cloudy this evening, rain or snow shower in spots, then turning out clear late. Sunny to partly cloudy, breezy Saturday. That high 40s going to feel like it's well down into the 30s with the southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Sunday, a mix of clouds and sun. It's only going to be in the 30s with the high of 38. Partly sunny on Monday, the high 39. Mostly sunny Tuesday, the high of 40. Then mostly cloudy with a snow shower possible Wednesday afternoon, the high of 39. Currently, it is 40 in Bristol, New London at 43, New Haven at 46. It's 43 in Hartford, and I'm meteorologist Jason Katerina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Your vacation possibilities just got more exciting. Enjoy connections to over 20 cities across Europe when you fly non-stop to Dublin from Hartford with Aer Lingus. Great fares from Bradley International Airport, now available on airlingus.com.
Make your holiday season merry and bright at Magic of Lights. Featuring millions of holiday lights. Pratt & Whitney Stadium at Rentschler Field. Now through January 4th. Tickets available at magicoflights.com.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. You've heard me talk time and time again about our beautiful showroom, but what most people don't realize is that we have a full parts counter too, complete with all types of fittings, valves, pipes, and most importantly, the knowledge to help you complete any plumbing project. So we aren't just another
on product and subscription plan. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys
and 10
through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
We're back. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I'm not looking like Tom Shattuck. He's losing weight. Rama says, did you laugh like Jabba the Hutt after eating? I did feel a little sloppy afterwards. I did. I really, really did. I was so mad at myself. I'm so mad. The markets closed early today. Let's hear what Joe in New Hampshire has to say about it. How are you, sir?
Hello, is this the best of Reese?
No, it's live this time.
Okay. I misunderstood you earlier in the week that today was going to be best of Reese.
No, this is live today.
I'm glad it isn't. Hey, before I get onto why I called, the market today was straight up because that's what usually happens between Thanksgiving Day and the weekend because it's such a thin market, and it closed at 1 o'clock. So it was straight up. And the commodities were way up because of what Putin did in the Ukraine. He took out the power for over 1 million of its citizens, hitting the grid, and he's threatened to do the same to Kiev and the rest of the country soon. I don't know how we're going to just keep ignoring it, and they're not going to send more missiles into Russia, after what he did last night.
Do you think that you think we're going to have something? I mean, not like the war in and of itself hasn't been serious, but do you think we're going to see something really bad within the next 50 days that Trump may not be able to pull us back from?
Well, what he did last night, the infrastructure, the grid, he took out power to more than 1 million Ukrainians, and the temperature there is in the 20s and dropping. They had their first significant snow this week. And they're all going to freeze to death. Those 1 million people are going to freeze to death, essentially. And he's going to do it to the rest of the population. They're all going to, freeze to death. So what is Biden and his handlers going to decide to do then? I don't know. But it's something, and it's probably not going to stop right now. Maybe over the next couple of days it'll be more. But I was calling you today about something that I'm sure you heard about.
What's that?
The highest paid state of Connecticut employee. You know who that is? He turned down a Lakers contract earlier this year.
The UConn coach.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I don't know what he's getting. I mean, he took less money from UConn, but still a lot. What is he getting? Like $7-8 million a year now, and with incentives, if they repeat a third time, he'll get more.
They not because they trash.
You can forget about the third repeat. Right now, the team is 4-3. You heard what happened to them out in Hawaii, that tournament.
Yeah, I heard they got their.
You know why? You know who's to blame for all 3 losses? You want to take a guess?
I'm assuming the coach.
Absolutely, in a big way. Do you know what happened in the very first game, which it was very winnable?
No, in fact, I heard people talking about this, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what happened.
Okay, I'll fill you in, Reese. I follow sports too, certain situations, and they were supposed to go out there and sweep. It wasn't going to be easy, but they lost to Dayton in the third game. Dayton probably won't even make the tournament this year. But the first game, they went to overtime, and it was about 50 seconds to go, and the referees, they probably made a bad call against the UConn player, called a foul.
I heard that.
Well, Hurley went crazy. Now, a competent coach knows that if you get hit with technicals in that situation, the other team's going to get 2 free throws anyway.
Right.
And you're going to give them another 2 free throws on top of it and make it a 2-possession game with 50 seconds to go.
Yep.
No, a competent coach would never do that. He might yell a little, but he's not going to go absolutely crazy like he's known to do. So he got hit with a double technical. And I forget the name of the team. It's a top team. They hit all 4 shots.
Memphis.
In the ball. That's the rule. On double technicals, the team shooting the foul shots retained possession. Well, UConn ended up losing that game by 2 points. It was a miracle they got it back within 2 in the 50 seconds. But that was all his fault. And, to give him a huge contract like that, you watch now, Calhoun was pretty bad, but now Calhoun will never...
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Is it fair to say that at this point in the season that UConn doesn't have a shot with just, what are we 7 games in?
Well, they have a shot. I think they were ranked number 2 going into this tournament. I would be surprised if they're any higher than 15 or 17 after what happened out there. And they're 4-3. Now, I don't know. No one's come out to criticize what he did. Now, the second game, that was very close, too. I think they lost by 2 points in that game. I don't know if it went overtime. But you know sports like I do. If you're on a team and that happens and your coach loses the game for you like that at the end of the game, what do you think the morale of that team was going into the second game?
Low.
And then after losing a close second game, I heard he was going crazy too. They go into that third game, which should have been a 20-point victory, and they lose that one. That's all on the coach. He's got the huge contract. The taxpayers of Connecticut pay his salary. They pay all the coaches' salaries. Now, UConn will say, well, it comes out of the athletic fund and donors. No. That's a smoke screen. It's like laundering money, from the taxpayers to the,
I don't
employees.
think. Look, I know UConn. This is something that we all know. UConn has an ability, and I think it's a little too early to tell just on 7 games what the state of play is for UConn men's. I think the Huskies are going to do fine.
Well, I'm just saying the coach has a problem, and no one's criticizing him for what he did. Now, Bobby Knight did all that, but he threw some chairs, too, which made him, immortally remembered. I mean, other than throwing some chairs down the court, he's as bad as Bobby Knight, if not worse.
Hey,
and he makes Calhoun
don't make me
look
reminiscent of Bobby Knight.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's something to keep an eye on, Reese. The coaching and the technical fouls and the team losing because of it. That's something you do in the first or second quarter. A team can recover from a 4-point possession loss situation. If you're really that good, you can come back from that. But not with less than a minute to go in the game in overtime.
I think we're a little Joe, I think we're a little premature here. But I totally appreciate the update. Don't get me wrong. I totally do. But I don't think it's at this point in the basketball season, I really don't even pay attention to them. I wait until we get into contention. But thank you.
I'm the only person to criticize him, and I don't even live in Connecticut.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, sir.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. George is in St. Louis. Happy Thanksgiving, big guy.
Happy Thanksgiving, Reese. You were talking about California.
Yes.
Probably the bluest of the blue states. There's 40 million people that are probably, at least at the coastline, going to have to evacuate one day. Did you ever hear of Fukushima Daiichi nuclear reactor, Japan? Yeah. But in the Pacific, seals, whales, sea lions, starfish, sardines, they're dying from radiation poisoning. And the coastline, the California coastline, is being affected by that same radiation from Fukushima.
Has it been affecting? Has it been affecting people on the shorelines, like Malibu and Los Angeles?
It's going to have to, because they say they've spotted plumes of radiation from Fukushima that are traveling in a straight line across the Pacific. This is west east, and it's headed right for California. They found in the food chain in California, they found traces of radiation already. Now, here's the effect. The blue states, which is Democratic, they're going to eventually, the 40 million are going to have to, as I said, at the coastline, they're going to probably have to start evacuating. You're going to have to get out of there because the radiation levels are increasing. They're increasing.
And you're saying that they're going to have to get out of there. You're talking about they have to go inland or just leave the state overall?
Well, inland. Uranium 235, Reese, has a half-life of like 720 million years.
Right.
Yeah. So if you wait 720 million years, you probably it'll probably dissipate. So I don't think there'll be a USA 720 million years from now.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that California could be so affected by this radiation that so many people will have to either go inland.
That's right.
Or have to leave the state overall,
at least leave the coastline.
Yeah.
Where it's the radiation's being saturated.
And don't forget the water.
What that means?
Will their water supply be affected by this?
Oh yeah, everything: water, air, soil.
So we could very well see the end of California. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, it depends on how extensive the contamination is.
Hold on, don't get ahead of yourself.
Anyway,
I'm applauding. Give me a second to applaud.
Yeah, the bottom line, you're going to see less Democrats in the state of California.
Oh, I'm just saying that. Look, first of all, I'm not a fan of California. I mean, if there's only one place in the world that I hate more than California, and that is Philadelphia. But I can't stand California.
But yeah, this is on the internet for anybody to read. That it's a very slow and gradual rate of contamination. They haven't fixed Fukushima. It's continuing. It's like a continuous contamination.
You know, Sokolowski's in the chat room, George, and he asked this question. He says, "There's Nagasaki and Hiroshima, which are now fully occupied, and Bill Gates is talking about opening up 3 Mile Island again." So he's saying that what's up with that if California is worried about the radiation?
Well, these places that have been contaminated, unless you do something, and by the way, it costs millions to decontaminate. Unless you do something about that, it's just going to get worse. It's a poison. Radiation is a poison,
Indeed.
And eventually you die from all the cancerous effects from that.
Well,
it's bad.
Like I said, if California it gets completely decimated, well, I can't say completely because that's an oxymoron, but if it gets decimated to some degree, in other words, loses about 10% of its value, or 10% of its population to move to other states and places practically unlivable, I can't help but applaud. I'm sorry. And then if we could just get to Philadelphia, it would just, for me, just for me personally.
Reese, if you're rich and you've got Pacific Front property, I would sell. I would sell now.
Thank you, George. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, sir. Poor California. Don't let George write your obituary, guys. Don't do it. George is already killing that place. I don't feel bad. It's California. I don't. I've been there a couple of times. Still not a fan. Still not. What are you going to do? Have you ever been to California? You had to have been in California, Roland, right? For work?
Of course.
Yeah. Where was it? Where'd you go?
I went to LA like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, okay. And that was all work related, I presume.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think when you were there?
I really didn't see
'Cause you worked on
too much because I was doing music and,
I had
writing
a
and
friend,
stuff.
Carl, who went there back in the 90s, and he wore a maroon sweatshirt, and he had to talk a group of Crips out of killing him.
Yeah, but that was stupid.
But he was like
I
it's
knew
maroon.
my very first time I didn't pack anything but white tees and black tees.
Really?
That's it. Yeah, I already knew. My very first time going out there, I didn't want no problems with nobody because you're in a foreign place and you gotta abide by their rules.
You know what's the worst part about that? I'm glad I didn't go to California or LA in the 90s because blue is my favorite color. I couldn't imagine not wearing the color blue. I would go in these places and I could imagine right now as soon as I walked in, it was like, what set you claim? And I'd be like,
yep.
I just like the Dodgers.
Yep.
It would have been bad.
That happened to us in New York, and I didn't even realize it was Bloods and Crips in New York.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
They rode up on my boy.
I almost got into a beef. This was a crazy one. During the height of the East Coast, West Coast rap beef, I was with a friend of mine playing The Far Side on a boombox. And a couple of guys in Manhattan say, yo, what's up with that West Coast music? And I'm like, it's The Far Side. It's not even like a gangbanger set. It's like The Far Side. They're like,
Yep.
Tribe Called Quest of the West Coast. Like, what are you talking about? Say, yo, there's still West Coast music. I'm like, but it's The Far Side. I'm like, it's not like Ice Cube or Tupac. I'm like, calm down. It's a big deal. I was like, you couldn't like any of the really good West Coast bands if you were in New York at that time. I hated that.
Nope.
Ugh, that was just so awful.
I mean, you can now, which is great.
Thank God. Thank God. I'm glad all of that stupidity is over. Anyway, we'll take a break. We'll come back. 5 o'clock is coming up soon. More news, more views, and I'll show you this. What is in this gumbo thing? Explain it to me when we come back.
We gotta go.
Yeah, now we gotta take a break. We'll come back. Stick around. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, a passing shower or two with mostly cloudy skies, the high 49. Partly cloudy, cold tonight, the low 27. Now Saturday, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and cooler. It's going to feel cold with that high of 40 and those gusty west-southwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Now on Sunday, a mix of clouds and sun. It will be cold with a high of 38. Partly sunny Monday, the high 39. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
The tradition of the WTIC holiday stores to benefit the Salvation Army continues. This marks our 35th year, and we can't wait to see you. Our holiday stores open Friday, December 6th. For all the store info, go to WTIC.com/holiday. As always, we couldn't do this without you and our partners and sponsors, the Home Builders and Remodelers Association and Mitsubishi Power Arrow. Please help us help families right here in Connecticut have a brighter holiday.
Need good tech advice?
Must be a computer error.
Tune into the Gold.com award-winning Computer Talk with Tab, Saturday mornings 9 to 11 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
God, I love technology.
Eric Semmel and Dennis Howland of Tab Computer Systems will keep you updated with tech news you can use and answer your technology questions live on the air. Miss a program? Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in from anywhere via the Odyssey app. Computer Talk with Tab, Saturday mornings on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, it's Eric Erickson. I hope you'll tune in to listen to my show every weeknight at 6 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. I'll break down the news of the day, everything from national politics down to the battle at the local school board. I'm not going to give you the party line, no predictable red meat. I'll give you the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and what's going on in this insane world. I hope you'll join me. The Eric Erickson Show, weeknights 6 till 9 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080 and on the free Odyssey app.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
5 o'clock, Hartford temperature 42 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. It is a tradition, a holiday tradition, getting a jump on Black Friday sales.
We used to be the ones on Thanksgiving night where we would get up, or we'd stay up all night into the morning and do it. So the early morning on Fridays is a little different, but we still do it.
Even with the advent of online shoppers, those with the National Retail Federation say about 85 million Americans were expected to traipse through a mall at some point today. Both in-person and online shopping, the Connecticut Better Business Bureau reminding folks to look at return policies. In most instances, electronics are no longer returnable once they've been opened. This is Connecticut BBB's Kristen Johnson.
Another thing that we often see both in person and online is they'll change the return policy around the holidays. And it's maybe not as liberal as it would be during the rest of the year. You have maybe a shorter window to make those returns. So definitely want to look at that. And it will vary from store to store. So you also want to comparison shop.
And you can look up reviews also for a business by going to bbb.org. Thurman Milner, the first popularly elected black mayor of a New England city, has died. The Connecticut NAACP said in a Facebook post that Milner died today at the age of 91. In a statement, Hartford Mayor Arunan Arulampalam says Milner's, quote, commitment to public service and civil rights transformed Hartford and paved the way for future leaders. Governor Lamont said, quote, as a mayor, state rep, and senator, Milner used his influence to enact positive change in Hartford. Milner served as Hartford mayor from 1981 to 87. In addition to being mayor and also his time in the state legislature, Milner was a past president of the Greater Hartford chapter of the NAACP. Funeral arrangements are still pending. With Americans struggling with inflation, Canada is warning that President-elect Trump's tariff policies could make matters worse.
Trump plans to impose a 25% tariff on goods from Canada and Mexico to promote manufacturing inside the U.S., but also to send a message that he's unhappy about their lack of border security that he claims is contributing to the U.S. fentanyl epidemic. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is pushing back, noting drug seizures at the U.S.-Canada border are relatively few and that Canada is investing in border security. Trudeau says ultimately tariffs would increase prices for Americans. Heather Bosch, CBS News.
That ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon appears to be holding 3 days in.
Hezbollah's leader Naim Qassem spoke for the first time since the truce, saying it was a bigger victory than the agreement in 2006, which ended that war with Israel. But since that truce began, it does appear to be holding, despite accusations of violations on both sides.
It's correspondent Deborah Pata. And as we sail through this holiday weekend, one mental health expert is making it clear that it's okay for a gambit of emotions to run high during this time. You've got joy in seeing people you haven't in a while, as well as having meaningful spiritual experiences, says UConn Health's Dr. Aaron Sardell.
But it also can be a really challenging time with difficult family interactions and greater awareness of separation from loved ones and also loss of loved ones. So it pretty much highlights a lot of our interactions with people.
On Wall Street, the Dow finished up 188 points today. The NASDAQ gained 157, and the S&P was up 33 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
How would you like
1 minute.
all those unwanted pounds quickly without spending thousands on painful...
You doing a focus?
No.
Hi, it's Donna Simpson, health and wellness expert. You probably...
Oh, I don't know.
Ozempic. Diet crazy. Everyone knows this
Kim,
prescription. So let
Frank,
look their best.
or Andrew.
Ozempic. And these injections...
33.333 with the hyphen over the top % chance.
Needles, no expensive prices, no side effects, and no worries. You need to try Lozempic, a new miracle weight loss breakthrough that performs so well it's been called nature's Ozempic. Lozempic is an easy-to-take diet pill now available without a prescription, being used by thousands to get rid of those unwanted pounds. So call now and find out how to get a free bottle.
To find out how
and
bottle of Lozempic, call 800-686-2430, 800-686-2430.
Free bottles for limited time, so call 800-686-2430. That's 800-686-2430.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We don't have a 5 o'clock focus today either, but we've got so much stuff to talk about on Monday. And a lot of work is being done behind the scenes, and I want to thank folks like Michael B., Scallywag Michael B., in the chat room for helping us out with a project for William Maisano. You might remember before Thanksgiving we had him on the air. He is the former police officer facing 5 years and a felony charge for writing an email to the principal saying that they'll be held to pay if a school teacher is allowed to wear rainbow hairdo at a graduation. And Michael B. was able to get a couple of people involved in this. And Monday, I will have some details for you. In fact, we'll have a guest on Monday as well to discuss the efforts being made to protest his sentencing on December 12th. So we'll have some updates on that. So I'm very, very thankful for Michael B. and the folks who are getting involved to help him this Christmas. It couldn't be a more noble thing than for people to step up for this man and for his family after his 25 years of faithful service as a police officer. Again, a guy who was revered in 2015 for never taking a sick day or a day off as a police officer for 25 years and was recognized in the New Haven Register for that. To now have this happen to him and people not step up for him and be afraid to step up for him because they wish to, or they won't stand up against the LGBTQ jihad against him for speaking up for his children and others who had that ideology forced down their throats. So we'll talk about that on Monday, so be sure. I'm hopefully we get some justice for him. And I'm working the phones to try to get the folks. I know it's the holiday season, so we won't get a lot of people on the phones as far as the New Haven District Attorney's Office to at least get them to answer for why this is happening to him and his family and see if some leniency. If not, just to have the whole thing just thrown out. It's kind of ridiculous to make how do we play? Make an example out of him after all of the service that he's given. So we'll work on that. And all you have to do is go to my Facebook page, by the way. If you go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, you can link onto Facebook. The link is there. Share the story with everyone you know. And I will also share I guess what they're trying to do is get a rally going on in the next coming days, if not on sentencing day. To get the press and people out there to protest his sentencing as well. So stick around for that. I'll have all the details for you soon to come. All right, and with that, we'll get back to the weather with Jason Caterina as well, who is in the building.
WTIC weather.
Thanks, Reese. Mostly cloudy this evening. Rain or snow shower in spots. Then it's going to turn mostly clear as we head through the overnight. The low down to 27. Sunny to partly cloudy and breezy for us as we head into Saturday. That high of 40 is going to feel like it's well down into the 30s with the west-southwest winds cranking along. Sunday, still a cold day with a mix of clouds and sun. The high 38, partly sunny, the high of 39 for Monday. Tuesday, mostly sunny, the high of 40, and then Wednesday, mostly cloudy, a snow shower possible in the afternoon, the high of 39. Currently, Waterbury at 39, Danbury at 39. It's 43 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
It's Alice Shattuck, and I want to give a huge thank you and congratulations to Awaken 180 Weight Loss on their 10-year anniversary. Paige and her team are celebrating with free consultations now through December 15th. I'm so glad I found Awaken 180, and I'm confident you will be too.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Wrap up
up your holiday shopping with Jewelry Television. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles and gifts for women and men. Shop on TV or online. Plus, new JTV customers save up to $50 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
Oh, hold still. This is only going to hurt a little. It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Don't worry, it only hurts liberals. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Phones in a second. I got this email the other day. I think it was yesterday. I got an email yesterday. And this is a happenstance. It's a fabric of being on the radio. And I know it's because people hear things and it's happening rapidly. And I'm going to give you a little bit of inside baseball. So when I first started doing radio, some people explained it to me as sort of like small talk on a long subject. And it was almost making sure that I was repetitive in a certain way. Like finding the art of repeating, because some people tune in while you're in the middle of a sentence and then misinterpret the point that you're making and only hearing it. Right? And it also is true for the callers who call in. You only hear that one part. You're going to tend to misinterpret it because you're coming into the middle of a conversation. It's almost like being at a party and you walk in to 2 people having a conversation. You only hear that one line that sounds like it's offensive, but you're not sure. And I got an email that sort of captures that. And if you remember, was it Roland, was it Ferris who called in to talk to me about, he said something along the lines of Alex Jones being involved in the idea of quelling our First Amendment's right, or right of free speech. Do you remember that?
I do not.
Okay. Many of you might. But that was the conversation. Anyway, I get this email from someone, and they were disappointed in me, which, again, believe it or not, I make it my business to remember your phone calls when I engage with you. I don't try to, and I've seen this actually happen in studio. Somebody will be taking a call, and the other person will be on there doing their whole thing and not listening, and then coming back into the conversation. And I don't do that. I pay very close attention to the conversation. I'm very engaged. It's not virtue signaling. It's just the way I am. But I remembered the conversation vividly. And the person who was describing this conversation in the email was suggesting that I gave Ferris platform to echo Alex Jones's sentiment about Sandy Hook. Which, again, I would say, are you out of your mind? Like, I don't mind if somebody echoes it, but to say that if someone did, I didn't challenge them is almost ridiculous. If they had, that wasn't the conversation. So I'm taking this opportunity. Here's the reason why I'm telling this story. Please, I implore you, I beg of you, download the Odyssey app so you can listen to Reese on the radio whenever you want. Just download the app. You can listen to this show afterwards before you send me the email, okay? It's right there on the banner. Download the Odyssey app so you can, that's the reason why we do what happened was. That's the reason why we do it. So that you can never miss a show and never misinterpret what's said. That's all. That's all. Download the Odyssey app. If there's ever a reason to download the Odyssey app, that's it. You'll never be confused about a conversation again if you do that. Or just go to WTIC.com or ReeseOnTheRadio.com. But while you're at it, if you can't, download the Odyssey app and you can listen to Reese on the Radio whenever you want. Miss a show? The Odyssey app. Huh? Want to catch this show while you're driving in the car, but you can't find it on the Odyssey app? It's just download it now. Don't waste any time. Now, Roland, you like the way I turned it into an Odyssey app commercial, right? That was brilliant. Give me my props.
Yeah.
Come on. If you won't give me my props, I'll take them. I'll take them. 860-522-WTIC. Steve is in Harrington. How are you, Steve?
Okay. I wish you didn't have to yell so much all the time.
Well,
no, seriously.
I do yell.
I mean,
I'm sorry that you don't like it. Too bad.
It's not good for radio, number
Says
one.
you.
But no, this is a lot of people.
Tell me, when is your
I
show
want to
air?
ask you a question.
When does your show air, and then you can show me how it's done?
Well, I listen to a lot of programs.
No, that's not what I asked you. What time does your show
I
air?
asked you a question. Now you shut.
You see how that works? We just put him on hold. Just put him on hold until he calms down. Until he calms down. Oh, you want to drop him?
Yeah, I ain't got time for that.
I know you don't. I humor that kind of nonsense. I do. I just like, I don't like. Anyway, like I said, download the Odyssey app. And by the way, if you don't like me yelling so often, download the Odyssey app. Turn the volume way down. It's really, really easy. It's really easy to do. Okay, Roland. Now, I'm not going to let you get away with this because I need to understand gumbo. Because I know you say gumbo is good. I'm not saying that it isn't good.
It is the most flavorful, best thing you can ever eat.
Okay, then explain this to me then. Okay, because again, I'm a novice. I'm not a foodie. But explain this to me. And this is the biggest problem I have with a lot of foodies and food in general.
Okay.
So gumbo has a lot of different things in it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Goes without saying.
Yeah.
It's got all types of meat, sometimes seafood, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So here's my problem. Not a lot of people's, but my problem. And I don't think you should have to cater to me, but just kind of help me understand. I can't discern with all of that flavor what I'm eating. And how do you know that all of these different flavors from different food groups, sometimes different food groups, how do you know that they're going to mesh? Like, how do you know? Is it
because
trial and error? Or?
No. Well, I mean, I'm sure when they first started way back hundreds of years ago making it, it was from trial and error.
Right.
But once they got the dish, and what's crazy is not everybody knows how to make it.
Okay.
It's a certain taste.
Okay.
And it's pretty much the same when a person makes it that way.
Okay.
So, and they're using the filet, which is a seasoning in New Orleans.
Okay. So here's the photograph. If you want to see it, you got to go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com in order to see it. So This picture that you sent me, now you mentioned on Wednesday, I think you said something about Vienna sausage. I looked at this picture and I went, are those little Vienna sausages in there?
Yeah, right.
No, what is what are those little, it looks like little chunks of meat? Is that little, like, what is that cut up?
Yep, that's a cut up smoked sausage.
Okay, there is sausage in there. Just
Yeah,
not
smoked. No, never that.
All right, and what's that meat right there?
There's crab,
that's
there's
crab.
shrimp.
Okay.
There's ham, diced ham.
Okay.
There's chicken.
Okay. Oh, chicken too.
Yep, chicken.
So no food. There wasn't a meat group that wasn't sacrificed here.
Gotta get them all in that gumbo.
Okay. And talk to me about some of the seasoning here.
You got a little Tony Chachere. You got a little the main season for that taste is the filet.
Okay.
It's called filet gumbo. It's two main kind of gumbos in New Orleans, and it's filet and okra. I don't eat okra, so my mom never makes that.
Okay. Now, can you experiment, even though there's a set recipe?
Yeah.
Can you deviate from it? And
Yeah, people do all the time, but and sometimes the hit is a hit or miss. That's the issue.
So you could very well be risking the meal all in total.
Yep, exactly.
Putting the wrong thing in.
Yeah, like some people try to use tomato sauce as their sauce, as their broth.
Tomato sauce.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
Can't do that.
What is this? What is the sauce element here? What is that?
It's a roux from scratch.
Roux.
Yeah.
That sounds like brujeria or like voodoo. What's a roux?
is how you start the gravy.
Okay.
So, and I'm not gonna give you all the instructions
I'm
because
sure it's a family trade
yeah.
secret. Okay,
but it's how you start the gravy.
Okay.
And I will say you started with a little flour and the water.
Okay. Now.
So I will say that part.
And does the boiling take place first before you put in all the meat and additives and stuff? Is that like or does it all go in at the same time?
Yeah. You get your roux started first, and then you get your gravy started, and then you start to add the meat.
Now, with something like this, with all of the meat that's added in it, is there even a need for turkey?
Oh yeah, we still had a deep fried turkey outside, and we had a pork belly.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody made pork belly.
I don't touch the pork.
Yeah, I didn't eat any of that.
So, now is this an appetizer or is this part of like the main course?
The gumbo is the appetizer.
Okay, so the gumbo is an appetizer.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody
you can have it as a main meal,
Right.
but when it's not Thanksgiving.
Right.
But when it's Thanksgiving with all that the meaty and mac and cheese and yams and all the stuff that's real heavy. This is the starter. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So and everybody gets like a small little handheld bowl or whatnot, and you can.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So
you can get a bowl or two. You can get it because that pot. I know you say it looks like a wok, but it's actually like 2 feet.
Really? That's a 2-foot pot?
And it's real deep. Yeah.
Holy moly! All right. Well, check it out. It's on ReeseOnTheRadio.com now, so you can look at it. But you can't find out how to make it, unfortunately, because
it's a family recipe.
Michael B said that looks like a baby's foot is in.
Yeah, that's crab. That's a crab.
That's a crab. Well, this goes to the old
I mean,
adage.
they do say they stuck their foot in
Yeah,
it. But
that's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, so technically, someone did put their foot in that, that gumbo.
My mom.
Your mom. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. That is Roland's gumbo for Thanksgiving. Maybe I will try some in the future. It sounds like my taste buds would be confused by it. That's what I think.
You'll love it.
Yeah, you say I will, but yeah, I'm telling you, everything for me is an acquired taste. It just is. 860-522-WTIC. And Adam is in East Hartford. How are you, sir?
Reese, thanks always for a great program. And I had an excellent Thanksgiving. I was too fatigued to drive with my brothers in New Hampshire, but I went to a friend's in Windsor. And I just want to say, keep up the good work. Did you see Kamala's crybaby rant on Saturday? I still got to watch that. I heard there was something on the news about that.
Well, what she did was it was a speech that she gave to donors and supporters that the DNC cut up and then released to the public. And the video clearly shows her disheveled. Many believe that she may have had one too many. a couple of drinks, so she may have been inebriated to some degree. It didn't look good. It looked really, really sad. Again, you know, again, White Mike gave me hell for this, was saying, why do we always have to be the nicer people? It's not that we have to be. We are. We just are. And if somebody's got a drinking problem and her loss is only going to exacerbate said problem, I can't stomp on her for that. Okay? Because, again, that I'm a human being. It's not about whether or not Kamala Harris is a complete and utter fool. It is about her alcoholism. Is it, if indeed she is suffering from alcoholism? You can't wish that on anybody who might be struggling with addiction, because that's what it is. It's a disease. You know, it would be like making fun of her with somebody with cancer.
Hey, you know, I was thinking, even though Trump, they said he could be mean, the other side can be mean too. Just think about this. When John Kerry was running against George H.W. Bush.
No, that was Walker. That was Walker.
Right, when he ran against the son, he said, like father and like son, one term you're done. Now, that's not something nice to say about somebody's father, a previous president, you know?
Yeah, look, I understand that they're not nice people. And again, I stand by my dissertation that Kamala Harris is a complete denunce. But her addiction is not something I'm willing to make fun of. For me, that's just a step too far. She needs help.
I understand. I didn't know what it was about, so I'll be more respectful.
No.
Hey, thanks for
you didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing to apologize for. I was just making it clear because you had asked. But thank you, sir.
But still, have a great program and a great rest of your holiday weekend.
Thank you, man. You too. Absolutely. Craig's in the car. What's going on? Oh, Craig, what did I do? Did I hang up on him? I seem to have lost him. Wow, Craig called back. Oh, yeah, you know why? Because he realized what time it was. That's okay. He'll call back in the top of or the bottom of the hour, and we'll talk to him because I'm sure he's going to tell me about I'm seeing the echo on the screen as well, guys. I don't know exactly what it is. It seems to be fading in and out, but I'll work on it for those of us on the Facebook page so it doesn't happen again. I've got all weekend to figure it out. Gumbo is delicious, and so is rabbit etouffee. Is that how I'm pronouncing it? That sounds very...
Etouffee.
Oh, it's etouffee. That's very French, isn't it? What is rabbit etouffee?
It's just a rice with a particular style of gravy with the rabbit. But I don't eat the rabbit etouffee. I eat shrimp etouffee or crawfish etouffee.
You don't eat the rabbit? What's wrong with rabbit? Is there something wrong with eating rabbit? I've had rabbit in my life.
No, I just don't like the taste.
Oh, you don't like the taste of rabbit? I've had rabbit in my life. I've had rabbit. I had bear. Tree squirrel is or tree rat as they call it, but that's just squirrel. But I had bear meat before. That was interesting.
There's a guy that just recently put a bear on a grill and
did he?
Yeah.
Like a whole bear?
Yeah, bear paws, the whole arm, the whole leg.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. That seems like I don't know about all.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't sound tasty. It doesn't anything that's like strong and aggressive.
Yeah.
And is a predatory.
Yeah.
I don't think they would taste good. That's just
I don't
me.
think
but.
so either. That's right. I need something that's sort of like very, let me say, like light, and almost seems reasonable, like koala bear. Like koala bear sounds like a good.
Nah, that doesn't sound good either. No.
How about ferret? Is that?
No.
Why is nobody like the cute and fuzzy one?
Yeah, everything that reminds you of a rat, you don't want to eat. It's not something that you. Well, I know they did on Demolition Man, but
yeah, exactly.
They ate the rat burgers, and I'm sure those were good.
Yeah.
Probably was seasoned to perfection.
Oh, goodness gracious, that sounds gross. Nothing about that sounds appealing.
My uncle, he would eat nutria. He would go into the canal and shoot some nutria rats, which are humongous rats in New Orleans.
Holy moly!
And he would make them all up and saute them and put gravy on them like it was like chicken and feed it to his grandkids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Grandpa doesn't love you. Let's take a break. Let's go to Jason Camarita, please. Anything but this. I'd rather know the weather. Jason, save me.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon, a passing shower or two with most high 49.
You don't like that sauteed rat, huh?
Night below 27. Now Saturday, sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and cooler. It's going to feel cold with that high of 40 and those gusty west-southwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Now on Sunday, a mix of clouds and sun. It will be cold with a high of 38. Partly sunny Monday, the high 39. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Cloudy skies and 41 degrees right now in Hartford. Members of Connecticut's congressional delegation were the targets of fake bomb threats on Thanksgiving Day. Spokespersons for the 5 representatives in Congress and 1 U.S. senator say there was no evidence of any explosive. Thurman Milner has died. He was the first black mayor in a major New England city when he was elected in 1981. Went on to serve 3 two-year terms till 1987. Milner also had a career as a state representative and a state senator, and also served as the president of the Greater Hartford chapter of the NAACP. Thurman Milner was 91. Retailers in the U.S. and some other countries spent weeks pushing early holiday deals for Black Friday shopping. The Connecticut Better Business Bureau was also reminding shoppers to evaluate all deals and return policies. Yukon Health Dr. Aaron Sardell reminds people they don't need to feel pressured to buy during this frenzied time. Several fires for the Thanksgiving period, one in Thompson on Thanksgiving itself. Yesterday, early morning fire destroyed a home on Thompson Road. There was also a house fire in Bridgeport on Hallett Street today. No injuries in either blaze. .44 crashes reported, 17 with injury, but so far no fatalities. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 188 points today. The NASDAQ gained 157, and the S&P was up 33. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app with over 16 million subscriptions sold? Well, we thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. She's an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face type of learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent?
Sur le point.
Keith is sweet. He's a be in the room with real people kind of learner, so he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
1 minute.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/rain to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/rain. That's leaffilter.com/rain.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Roots. The next movement, Philadelphia's best. The Roots. Lori in the chat room says, Roland missed me talking about being raised by my Sicilian grandmother and all the things she had to eat. We love all the things you had to eat, Lori. At least I do. Do you know what she was talking about, Roland? She was talking about eating lasagna every day of her life. She was inundated with lasagna. Can you believe that? That's the bad food. That's the horrible food that she was inundated with all of her life. Lasagna. I'd be as big as Frank in Woodbridge if I had to eat the way that Lori was allowed to eat. I would have been a skinny kid all of my life. You know, I'm jealous of you. This is not a something to be ashamed of. I would never be ashamed of that. I'm still trying to get my wife to make lasagna. She also understands there's a litmus test. That's the reason why she won't do it. One day I will tell this story about how I broke up with a girl over lasagna. And it was, I wouldn't have, normally I wouldn't have broken up with her because of that. But I had no choice. If you think that's bad, I broke up with a girl because she didn't know who Alan Greenspan was. That story's even worse. That story's even, and it happened at an Olive Garden. It's just really a bad story. I was a horrible person. I was younger. My dating criteria really was, it seriously was. My dating criteria was very, very high. It was very high. We were at I just might as well just tell the story. We were at a Olive Garden, and Alan Greenspan was giving not even a speech. He was testifying before a congressional committee. I'm almost certain it was. And Olive Garden had it on the TV, and I was watching it, and I asked the guy if there was any way he could either turn it up or put on the closed caption, and he did. And the girl that I was with said, "Why do you want to watch that?" And I was like, "Alan Greenspan is testifying. Why wouldn't I want to watch that?" And she was like, "Who's he?" And so I said, "You don't know who Alan Greenspan is?" And she goes, "No." And I was pointing out other congressmen in the bus. "Do you know who that is?" "Nope." "Do you know who that is?" I was like, "Do you know anything about politics?" She was like, "Kinda." So I started naming all of these people. Doesn't know who anyone is. Who's the president of the United States? Bill Clinton. Who's his vice president? I don't know. And then I said this line. I'll never forget it. "Who's Monica Lewinsky?" And she went into an entire dissertation about who she was. And I looked her right in the face and said, "I don't think we can see each other anymore." Right at dinner. It's like when somebody tells you that they don't know who anyone is in politics, but they know exactly who Kim Kardashian is. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. When you feel that way when you watch those videos online, that's how I felt in that instant. She knew who Monica Lewinsky was, but knew nothing about politics. And that was when I said, I think we need to start seeing other people. Yeah. It was awful. Mean-spirited. We dated again. Just so you know. But it was just one of those moments where you just have to kind of go, I don't know if I can be seen with you in public. Let's get another check of the traffic. No, not traffic. I apologize. Let's get another check of the weather with Jason Caterina. Thank you, sir. All right, we're almost out of here. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, a quiet one. No one is bothered or forced to have to deal with any calamity. And your families are safe and sound. Back home from the holiday. They'll probably be back tomorrow. Was it Sunday? Is that when everybody gets back? Usually? It's usually about Sunday when everybody gets back. So, if indeed they are still traveling, I hope they all get home safe. Let's go to Jeff, who's in Marlboro. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, man. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, son. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so I just want to say two things, a comment, and congratulations on taking the high road. I saw that Kamala Harris video, and the first thing I said to my mother, I was like, I think she's been drinking.
Yeah.
But I've experienced that in my family. That can be a real problem. And at her high level of job, let's not forget she is the vice president.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's all the more embarrassing, and I think she needs either some help, or at least if she's not an alcoholic, she should tone it down when she's supposed to be in the public eye.
Yeah, and I think that there was a little bit of on her part that may have been, I cannot believe I have to face these people, and that embarrassment, if you would, right? There's a little bit of embarrassment that you have to go through, of course. And so having to face that embarrassment, she says, let me take a little bit of the edge off. And alcoholics know that becomes, it's more than a crutch. It then becomes a lifestyle.
Well, Ozzy Osbourne said, one's too much and 10's not enough.
Yes, famously. Those who know the credo know that, exactly. And it'll never, ever be that case. So I've seen some people sort of mock it, and it would be like, I had a hard time with, Hunter Biden's addiction. I had a lot of problems with it. But it was only until I read his emails and saw those videos and the things that he was doing and flaunting it, that I can look at somebody like Hunter Biden and go, okay, that guy's a jerk. That guy's a drug addict jerk who uses his power and his influence to just say, hey, he's worse than an addict. He's I would say, a narcissist megalomaniac. But Kamala, I can't even say that about her because, again, I think that to take the edge off, this may be something that she's leaning on because she can't deal with embarrassment or shame, and uses it sort of to cut through that. And that's somebody who can help.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And my other story was you were talking about a sort of a cold breakup.
Yes, my breakup with Brittany at the Olive Garden because she didn't know who Alan Greenspan was.
Yeah, so I had this girl. I just sort of wasn't feeling it with her, but she was the sweetest thing. She showed up on my birthday. Had to work early. She showed up at my house on my birthday. 6:00 in the morning. Brought me some coffee, birthday card, said happy birthday. I won't be able to spend the day with you because I got to work late. And I broke up with her.
Right there? Right there with the birthday?
Right there.
Oh. At least I had Alan Greenspan. You're cold, man. Alan Greenspan that's a legitimate argument, my friend. You just broke up with her after you got birthday gifts.
I just couldn't do another day, man.
Tell me, what was the mitigating factor? What was the reason what was the reason that you had to break up with her, no matter how kind she was? What was like the one thing? Did she have like a horrible laugh? Did she have man hands? Maybe your feet were too big? Like, what was the real?
We couldn't really get together on the kissing. She was a beautiful girl,
but she couldn't kiss.
Right.
I dated a girl like that. I dated a girl like that. Oh, it was like kissing what was it, an open mouth, a big mouth bass?
It was like a cow tongue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I dated that type. I dated a girl like that. Her name is Kathleen. Yep. It doesn't matter. She'll never listen to this program. She's not from this part of town. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you, sir. Craig is in the car. He called back. How are you, sir?
I'm actually here. You know, I love the high ground, Reese, but you can bet if that was J.D. Vance that did that, there'd be no slack given.
I know. He would be. In fact, they're going after him right now online, and you know, there's no relent. The sad part is that they can't even look introspectively and say, somebody get this woman help. She got shellacked, and you know, the rumors have been circulating that she may have a problem. No one's even considering giving her help. You know?
Well, let's not forget the fact that this woman's on a permanent vacation in a month and a half. And one of the last things she does in office is take a vacation to Hawaii on our dime.
I know. And again, probably because of the shame. You know what I mean? It's probably because...
That's a gigantic... That's just a middle finger to the U.S.
You think so?
That's what that was. I do. Yeah.
I don't... Really? You don't think that there was an ounce or a monicum of the... Look at it this way, Craig. Hear me out. You have been pumping this woman up, or as we like to say in the hood, put a battery on her back to make her believe that the entire country reviles Donald Trump. Come election night, it isn't the 6-day Pennsylvania thing. You've got a likelihood of winning one of the swing states. It comes out you get shellacked in the swing states. With the money you spent, you've embarrassed yourself and your party in this. And you don't think that when they put her out on Front Street to be embarrassed in this way, that she didn't say to herself, I got to get the hell out of Dodge? You don't think there was at least some...
She's getting out in January anyway.
I know, but there's... I don't... Would you have been able to face the public? No, maybe you would have. Yeah, you're tough as nails. You would have walked out there and said, all right, I lost, guys. You know, what can I tell you?
She's a fraud, always has been. She's the poster child for imposter syndrome, and she knew it.
Yeah.
I don't think there was an ounce in her body that thought she was going to win.
I don't either. I really do. There's a part of me that didn't think so either. And the fact that her staffers were telling people that she was going to win Iowa, I'm like, what?
Yeah, come on.
And the Iowa, what was it? The Des Moines Register? They actually had her on the cover saying that she was beating him by 2 points?
Yeah, well, they tried that nonsense when Hillary ran, too.
Oh,
you know, it never
President
worked.
On the Newsweek magazine. I still have that cover.
It never works. Well, I got to say, I did make it through Thanksgiving without fistfights at the table, so...
Okay, please, wait. Before you get into that, hold on. Did blue hair show up? Did the blue hair show up?
No.
The girl
did not.
She did not show up?
No.
Wow.
No.
Anybody else?
Nope. Her mom did, but didn't say a word. It was very civil. We had a great day. It was beautiful.
No political conversation at all?
Zero.
Ugh. That's disappointing.
Zero. Yeah, well, I would have gotten a little scrappy, but that's okay. That's all right. I was too busy cooking anyway. We had a great meal. I hope you did too.
Yeah, I did. It was great. The pecan pie, I don't know, it was really, really sweet, and I felt awful afterwards. You're not supposed to feel bad after you eat. I still feel bad. I still feel bad about it.
Nah, that's the one day you can do it. Not feel bad.
That's all right. I actually jogged this morning. That's how bad I felt. I normally take a walk. I jogged. I'm not kidding. I jogged this morning. That's how guilty I felt. It's awful. I've got a guilty conscience, man. I've got a guilty conscience.
I'm not that guilty.
No, I know. Everybody else is like, live your life. Do whatever you want. It's Thanksgiving. Me, I woke up the next morning going, glutton, fat body.
Thanksgiving's why they invented sweatpants, pal.
Oh, yeah, no kidding, because that's what I threw on this morning. And in fact, here's the crazy part, Craig. I went without the wife because I didn't want her to see. I didn't want her to see me slugging it up the hill. I did not want her. I didn't want her looking. She's from the military. I didn't want to look bad in front of her. So when she wasn't there, I made sure she wasn't there just so I could get a couple of jogs in. And then I started jogging up the hill in the golf course. And I made it halfway up the hill, and I was heaving. And I went, "Oh, look at you slug! Look at you."
Well, you better keep her happy because she's in possession of that picture you don't want out there.
Yes, I know. I'm gonna get to her phone when she's sleeping. Oh, man.
I'll talk to you Monday, man.
You got it, man. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate you. I'm telling you, I jogged. I told my wife this morning. I said, she goes, how was your walk? I looked at her. I said, I jogged a little. She was like, what? How much did you jog? I said a quarter mile. And I did it twice. I did two quarter miles. So I did a half a mile of jogging. And I felt that afterwards, I was just like, literally, I was like, I felt like a slug. I got to do it again. As soon as I finish the show, I got to go out there and I got to do it again. I got to go huff it. I got to huff it. I'm down to 231 pounds. That's a lot of weight, folks. That's football weight. Now, we're talking about a guy who, when he was 32, weighed 189 pounds. My entire life, I've never been heavier than 182 pounds. I've always been 6'3", well, as a grown-up. Always been 6'3", but never was I above. I was at 82, 182. I think at best, maybe 185. At best, 185 pounds. But I was always slim, skinny. Then I moved to Boston. And I started putting on ridiculous amounts of weight. And I'm about to say something that's really, really bad. I ballooned up to 270. Now, to show you, and again, I'm susceptible to that because when I was a kid, I was a fat boy. I was chubby and a big, giant Cupid doll head. I had a big head. And I hated being fat when I was a kid. And they used to dress me in horizontal stripes. Evil people, my parents. Evil people. And Garanimal colors. You know? It looked like that, what was the name of that gum? I always forget the name of the gum that it only lasts for a couple of minutes when you eat it. Wasn't juicy fruit. Is it stream? Oh, begins with an S. Somebody remembers it. Yeah, it's just like fruit. Yeah, fruit stripe or something like fruit stripe gum. Yeah, they used to dress me in fruit stripe gum colored turtlenecks as a fat kid. It was the worst. I looked like I should have been on a children's program like Barney or Zoom. Fruit stripes. That's it, Michael B. Thank you. Fruit stripes. Michael B. says, people have felt the pain of desperation, of addiction, will not belittle others suffering the same. Exactly. But yeah, fruit stripe gum. That's what they used to dress me as a fat kid. It was really, really horrible. Let's take our last but not least call. Ray is in East Hartford. How you doing, Ray?
West Hartford.
West Hartford. Sorry, West Hartford.
You can't tell because you can't see over your tummy to know where I'm at. Now, when Rush started, he was a big fat man, too.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. And he lost weight. But I wish I had seen you over in Farmington because I can't believe that you're 6'3" at 260 pounds.
No, I was at 270 once, but now I'm at 230.
230.
I'm 230 now.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Can't wait to meet you. Someday we're going to get together.
You got it. Absolutely, Ray. Can't wait as well. And you're right about the Limbaugh thing. I will be honest, though. Did you notice this about Rush when he lost all of the weight? He did almost look, I kind of felt like Rush looked kind of like a bobblehead doll. I love Rush. Don't get me wrong.
That's sacrilege.
No. When I say a bobblehead, because Rush and I both have big heads. And that's my big issue with losing weight, is that the head will not shrink. You know, it's like Barry Bonds. Like Barry Bonds' head.
I know.
I don't want to have a big head and a thin body.
I wish I had one of those Rush double-head dolls on my dashboard, much like one of the old religious factions up there, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I had a good Thanksgiving. I'm thinking about your gumbo, and I'm saying to myself, I don't know as how I could put together something like that.
I don't have the patience, and I know that I would screw it up. That's why I would be calling Roland every 15 minutes to say, why does it all taste like salt? It just tastes like salt.
Yeah. But my wife did make a mince pie this year because this was the year for mince pies. And it was very, 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 very good.
Ray, I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, sir, and thank you.
It was great.
Thank you for being my last but not least today, man. You have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, old Rush. God bless him. I miss that guy. Yeah, we're Monday's gonna get back to normal. Today, I figured I'd have a little fun with it, freewheel it a little bit. Because it's just still a weekend and everybody's still reveling for the holiday. But be back here on Monday because we get back to business, okay? All right, we get all back to business, and we're going to do what we can to see if we can help out William Maisano. I'll give you all the details. We got an interview on Monday coming up with somebody who's going to do their best to try to help him, so stick around for that. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Here's Jason Caterina with some more of your weekend weather. Bye, Jason. All right, we'll see you on Monday. Hey, is there a way to take the best of and for Saturday's show? Oh, Sunday show. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, tell Joey or ask Joey if he can actually set that up for us. Okay. Yes, sir. All right. Thanks, man. All right. There we go. All right, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, or have a wonderful week and a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll see you back here on Monday. You guys be good to each other. All right, and I love you, and we will see you on Monday, as I said before, and I keep repeating myself. All right.